Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And I am very, you know what? No, I'm not sorry for being late. I'm not sorry for being late. I will tell you why I was late, though. I hope I'm live on Odyssey. That's what I'm hoping. I'm trying to find out if I'm actually live on Odyssey. I don't know that I am. I can't fucking tell. Let's see. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't know anymore. Are we fucking alive? I'm not sure. So let me try and get to the fucking where the fuck is this thing? Hold on. This is the struggle, we'll say, of alt tech, is making sure you're actually fucking on, because there's just things aren't perfect. What is this? Is this even here? It's not even here yet. I honestly, there's just nothing there. I'm on Odyssey. Does anybody have the link to my own Odyssey show? Oh, Jesus Christ. I legitimately can't see it on mine. Maybe? Oh. Nope. Okay, so that's the link I'm going to, and for me, it's just not showing at all. Wow. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. Here. There we go. All right. Jesus. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to load in Chrome, so I had to bring it up in Edge. Sorry, I forgot. Creating the claim on Odyssey takes a while, and then I forgot to grab the actual RTMP server information to update StreamYard, so I had to go back into it. Long story short, man, they're just some things about new, or like the big tech that could work a little bit better. But we're going to get there, y'all. We're going to get there. Sorry about the delay. Okay. So there's God, the drama. The drama is just at maximum right now, I guess. I don't even know what's going on anymore. So many people are talking about this this fucking drama that I don't know what to do. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do about the drama. I'm going to say, fuck it. I'm not really saying much more about it. I'm not interested in anything. Like, you know, some people are mad, other people are not mad. Everybody's got opinions. And that's just fine. There you go. I've said my bit about it. I said it on Drex's show, and then I elaborated some of the information on my locals page, and then that got clipped. My locals video got clipped, which is fine. It was a public free video. I don't mind whoever clipped it. I don't remember who it was. And I stand by, of course, what I said. on that video. That got clipped and uploaded, and now that's being discussed even more. But I was just on Viva, and we talked about this on Viva as well. I'm not, I'm not here to figure out what people need to do about anything. You do what you want to do. But man, this drama here we go. Let's just say it this way. Have I managed to always provide a shitload of money for for other people? Which is great. I love that. But just by merely existing and getting banned from YouTube and then getting brought back, have I created tons of high engagement live streams? And that's just what happens when you are a colossal fucking asshole, I guess. Oh boy. Mm. All right. With that, I don't know what I don't really know or care what people want to do, other than this. Like and subscribe to me. To me. Do not look over there. Those tits are temporary. I am forever. I am forever. But a big shout out to my friends, of which there are many, passionately talking about this issue. I respect and love all of them for doing that. I know some people are not happy with some people's opinions, and look, that's okay. We should all state our opinions, and people should always judge us based on those. And may I always be judged, not on the quality of my character, but always on the color of my skin. That's what I have to say about that. I don't want to get judged by anything else. I think that's how that goes, right? I think that's it. Okay, so I have made a critical error. I decided to stream tonight. I am exhausted. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do my daytime show and then Viva's show and then another show. That seems like a good move. That's not retarded or stupid at all. But it turns out it is. It is really retarded and really, really stupid to do this. So I have selected the Alex Jones closing arguments. There's a combined 2 hours and 20 minutes of closing argument, and I think watching them would be mildly interesting. And it would take up the entire show completely. But there's also Andrew Tate on Piers Morgan. There's also Andrew Tate on Piers Morgan, which is maybe really interesting. I haven't really watched Andrew Tate at all. Like, I don't know much about him. So I was kind of thinking to do Andrew Tate and Piers Morgan, which is not in the title. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Before you do that, plug your lady in her first video. I will. I think Lady Rackets has fixed the issue. Lady Rackets published her first video today. She published her first video today on the Real Lady Rackets YouTube channel. Let's pull up the channel and see, she's a YouTube newbie. She's a YouTube newbie. Here we go. Let's present this. But she's also a cutie. So here is her channel. It now has one video. Look at that. It's one of those sick thumbnail, man. Whoo! Got that hot mom action going. I love it. Wearing the sweats, wearing the sweats out, and that's what it's about. She's doing great. She's almost at 4,000 views already, and she's at 8,300 subscribers. So I hope people will check it out. I think maybe you can comment now. She had originally set it up so that she doesn't know how YouTube works yet. I'm working with her on it, but if you set up a video for children, it'll disable your ability to comment on the video automatically. And I think she had it set up for children, but we've got that fixed. We got that fixed. So if you guys want to check out that video and see what she's up to, you can. If you feel like leaving a nice little encouraging comment, I'm sure she would love that. And that would make her day kind of swell. But here it is, the real Lady Raggets. I'll share the channel in the description. Oh, she's got enough things. We'll not in the description. In the what the hell was that? I wanted to share the link. Whatever. Thank you, Hazad, for fixing that in the local thing. For me, it's just automatically turning it into a descriptor of the link. I'll help her get a channel name that's like just Lady Rackets or whatever. YouTube.com/Lady Rackets. We'll see if we can figure that out. You have to get a certain amount of subscribers before you can do it. So, all right. Here we go. So there's that. But please be nice and positive and encouraging to her. She is a sweet lady who works way too hard. Okay. That's that. I think the Andrew Tate thing might be more interesting. But should we check in on Joe and Nate? Let's see what's happening. Should we fan the flames of drama for a minute? Should we stream snipe these guys and see what's going on? Look at this.
Why would you say he's not violent? He's like, well, because he's not violent. Okay, why would you say that? And it's like a whole thing that, like, just by throwing it in that context of saying, like, oh, not violent at all. So you mean his friends are violent? Are they? Oh, I didn't know that.
It's streamception.
And it's like there's like an insinuation just by bringing up something out of the blue that has nothing to do with anything. It's almost as if you're saying there's something wrong with the guy.
All right, that he is controversial. I get it.
Right. So when they say, you know, he's controversial, it's implying that there's something about his controversy which is relevant to the conversation right here and now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. That's true. Because it's like, because I'm thinking about it, like when they said, I'm thinking like Howard Stern is controversial. That doesn't mean he should be canceled. That matter of fact, that doesn't mean the show is bad at all, man. Okay. I think Nick is probably, if not the best live streamer on YouTube. And I think he has probably one of the best live stream shows, period.
Oh, they must know I'm watching
controversial is part of his brand, but not in a negative way. So maybe that might be, but I think you're right. I think that tweet would have been better without that.
Don't tell them I'm stream sniping them. This is a loyalty and purity test.
Nice super chat.
How would you guys? How dare you inform them what's going on?
Why are you even on freaking YouTube? 3.3 thousand in the chat. Smash that like button. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Emily says everyone was fun until Hogue said Nick has called me 30 names. Let me take YouTube side for a bit.
My goodness.
So, okay, I'm gonna say this. I didn't watch the entire lengthy clip. I understood Hogue.
Lengthy clip, Joe. It's like 40 seconds.
I don't know what the whole 30.
What are you talking about?
That's weird to me. I'm not going to kid you. That's weird. I'm not making excuses for that. I don't know what the hell he's talking about there. Maybe Nick's correct. It was a stupid joke or whatever, or maybe it was his way of saying that Nick makes fun of everyone, or and that's what he was trying to say with it. I understood that the whole thing with taking YouTube side was him doing the classic law tube of like, okay, let's look at this from a legal perspective type of way. Not that he's saying I'm so happy Nick got taken off, but he's like, let's look at the law behind this and try to assess what's happening here. I don't know that that's what happened. That's what I would have assumed was happening there.
Cynthia, you're giving up the goat.
Saying, someone said Nick stream sniping me now. This son of a bitch.
Nick is steaming this on Rumble. Is he streaming this? Our
My
show on
God!
Rumble?
My God!
Or
There
is
we
he
go.
streaming
Report him
full?
right
I just
now.
let them go. I am monitoring this
Hi,
with
Nick.
purity and allegiance. I'm
Good to see
tired
you,
of these
buddy.
grifter
I love
shysters
it.
soaking up all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Fairbound says,
the
what?
30 name thing from the last.
Okay, anyway, I'm done. All right, that's enough. Oh my goodness. All right. So, just a brief thing. Let me pull up the Andrew Tate and Andrew Tate Piers Morgan. This is not Alex Jones. This title is a lie. This title is false. It's a falsehood. Before we get into this, let me reiterate something very, very specifically. I hope you guys remember a video I did that actually probably has a lot to do with this drama. And it's really important, and it's why I did the video in the first place. It was about not being in a community. That's what the entire video was about, because communities, without question or exception, devolve into drama. They devolve into infighting. They burn everything to the ground. When you're part of an online community, you are part of rampant and unbridled faggotry every single time. There's just no way around it. And maybe you want to be involved in rampant faggotry. Like maybe that's what you're after. I never wanted it. This is why it will always happen. It will always like coalesce into this thing that it's always cool when people have your back and whatnot and stuff. But if the community needs to come out and support, and someone is not pure enough for the community or whatever, the question is who's in the community, who's out of it. Fight. Oh my God. And Jesus, let's just not do any of this stuff, and let's just make funny content. How about that? But instead, a lot of people are and rightfully so. They're monetizing this very well, as they should. But it's been a topic now for several days, and to the grift. All right. Okay. With that said, we've got this video, but I've got a couple Rumble rants to check out. But first, let me grift you in the most important way. I'm going to need you to smash that little fucking plus. If you're on desktop on Rumble, smash that plus, the Rumble plus. It's a like button by any other name. Smash that fucking like button. If you're on mobile, I need you to hit that the little gorilla glove thumbs up or whatever on there. I'm taking over Rumble. It's mine. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it straight to the damn top, and I need y'all's help to do it. My channel is under attack. Whatever motivational speech you need, do it. We need all of that. Hit that fucking button, because it directly impacts the video's exposure and performance. That's one thing Rumble does in a really cool way, is to kick that up the chain based directly on those pluses. So I'm asking you with my dick in hand, please click that button. It's free, except for your dignity. But other than that, it's free. And if you do it, it will bring more people to this live stream and bring more shame to the planet. Okay. Let's read these initial Rumble rants, and then we will move into this fucking Andrew Tate and Piers Morgan thing. And this show is going to be brought to you by that plus button a whole bunch of other times as we go. So I'm going to keep bothering you about it until it is at a sufficient level. I mean, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. K to the Swiss says no wrist for the grift. Fac Uniga says, I think I'll visit Lithuania. Given what Fecal Bites has shown us of her character, it should be really easy. Her husband will not be allowed to watch. However, I do not require snacks. Damn. Okay. That's a little explicit. I wouldn't recommend any of that. Sooner Band Chick says, Nick, I choose to support you financially because of what you stand for as a man. It's not the jokes. It's not the law. I would watch for those, but I give you money because we need your voice. Oh, well, thank you. And you will have it. You will have it over and over. Much appreciated. Holy shit. The crook that stole Camelot's trailer saw the video on YouTube, got scared, and turned himself in. That's awesome. That's justice right there. All right. Tarkina 53 says, just ignore it. Let your friends carry the banner for you and you can stay above it. I mean, yeah, but they don't even need to carry a banner for me because like it's good. I've said my bit about it. And I meant it. I meant all of the bits I've said about it. But yeah, and I think it's pretty thoroughly discussed at this point. Let's see. Almanac says, Nick, can you make one of your toasts for my 18-year-old son who just joined the Marines, just shipped out to Paris Island, and I just received his call during processing. Oh, hey. I can do that. Oh, did we break Rumble again? Damn. It's coming back. It's coming back. The 500 error on that hits on Rumble from time to time is a little bit frustrating, but it is coming back. It'll be back up. We were coming up on 10K. I don't know if we'd passed 10K yet, but all right. Okay, to Almanac's son, 18 years old and now joining the Marine Corps. Going from a boy into a man, but not just any man, a specific kind of man, a man addicted to crayons and booty. May the Marines turn him into something bigger and better than he would have otherwise been. May his training and deployment be beneficial but uneventful. Cheers to him and his journey. It's just begun. All right, so there's that. Thank you. Hockey VG Nick, really curious what legally can be done about Twitter. It is the de facto and sometimes only customer tech support for many companies, even large ones, like we saw in your case. Hopefully what can be done for Twitter is that Elon Musk will take it over and we will destroy it in the best way. I know some people are out there advocating for me to be back on Twitter again too. And I just have to say to those who are doing that, thank you so much. It's really, really appreciated. If we get back on Twitter, it'll be the funniest thing that could possibly happen. So I definitely want that to happen, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. Let's see. Odahesh says, here's $20, a little value for value from me to you. Look, I accept for value and give back for value, the acceptance of your value given. Thank you for that, Odahesh. Really appreciated. And one last thing, just a reminder as we get this Andrew Tate video pulled up. God, look with a massive vagina right up front. I didn't know this kind of pornography could be shown on Rumble, but here we are in the land of freedom where we could just get a giant fucking vagina right in the front, lips open and all. We're staring directly into the uterus here. But as we get this pulled up, let me say one thing. RekietaLaw.locals.com. If you're on Rumble, you can click the locals join button. If you're on Odyssey, you got to type it in manually. And that's either of those are fine, even though it's hard to type one-handed. And I know that's how you're watching, but you can join on locals for free. But if you choose to become a locals supporter, there is an exclusive live stream chat for every live stream that I'm on, including ones that are not on my channel. You guys can hang out there, drop dank memes, and just generally have a good time saying all of the gamer words that you want and posting all of the racism that you need. But that's there, and I'm doing that on every show now. And it is the locals chat is the best chat, and I think it's absolutely swell. Okay, here we go. This is Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate. He kind of looks like a lemur, like ready to stare at some. Or not a lemur, like those weird. Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. Those fucking things called.
Tonight on Piers Morgan Uncensored, one of the most infamous men in the world, Andrew Tate's misogynistic tirades have been viewed billions of times online. He's now been effectively...
Well, we're just going to open up with that 5 seconds in. Andrew Tate's misogynistic tirades have been viewed billions of times online. Okay. Just going... This seems judgy.
banned, though, from the internet.
A meerkat.
He doesn't think that's fair.
That's what he
Tonight, I'm going to try and work out if it is.
You're going to work out if it's fair or not? It's not fair. There's not a question here, Piers. There's no question. Andrew Tate being removed from the internet is unfair. I've got this turned up a little high because I had it up for the court, which is not balanced well. But Piers Morgan, whatever it is at least a professionally produced show which has decent audio.
This is Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Well, good evening from London and welcome to a special edition of
Uncensored.
Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Uncensored from fucking London and on what, like a news network? Very uncensored. What a bunch of bullshit. Fire PA 498 says, "Hey Nick, can I get a toast? My beautiful wife Teresa Ann and I are celebrating our 3rd wedding anniversary this week. We're also celebrating our first son Peter's birthday, first birthday shortly after. We are so grateful for the many blessings God has given us over the past year. Excited for the future to come." To Fire PA, his beautiful wife Teresa, may they enjoy their first 3 years of marriage. And I think it's safe to say that on the 3rd marriage is when you get out the paddle and the ball gag, and you make that night a night to remember and regret. Cheers to you guys. May you have many, many more adventures and explorations. May you enjoy thoroughly the growing of your young child and the hilarious antics that they will get into and bring into your life. Cheers to you guys.
Andrew Tate, one-on-one. He's the most famous man you probably never heard of, with billions of views online. At one point this year, more people were searching Google
Sweet
for
Ferrari
Andrew Tate than Donald Trump or Kim Kardashian. A former professional kickboxer, he was kicked off Big Brother in 2016 after a video emerged of him striking a woman, what they now both claim was a consensual sex game.
Hey!
He's made millions as a pornographer and casino owner in Romania. But as his online...
To the person who is they're just having that wedding anniversary, Fire PA, just a thought. Andrew Tate got big by beating a woman with her consent. I mean, maybe you could do the same thing. It's just a sex game. And like, people may think I'm joking about that, but hey, if you want to get a little feisty in the bedroom, as long as it's consensual, man, you little slap happy, little slippery slaps, go for it. go for it. Worked for him. He's now hated by everyone, I guess. For the record, I don't know anything about Andrew Tate. And I don't I don't have any malice or anything against him. I just think the way they are framing this interview is fantastic.
Find videos that have made him notorious across the world, posing as a playboy with fast cars, cigars, weapons, and cash.
Well,
he rants about his often scandalous views on women.
Or instruct a female to provide sustenance. Cook.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes.
Tells young men they can get as rich as him by paying for his digital life lessons.
I can just say derogatory shit about women and I can get Lamborghinis? Oh my, ladies, prepare yourselves. Andrew, I'm ready to come in and fill the fucking void. Whoa.
I have 100 business tips I'm going to teach you, which will allow you to make your own money instantly.
But amid a global media backlash, the net has closed on Andrew Tate. While millions still share his videos, he's effectively banned from the web, booted off Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. To his fans, he's a misunderstood satirist and the victim of
he is here on Rumble, by the way.
To many others, he's a malicious misogynist. Tonight, I'll try and get to the truth. Some of the opinions Andrew Tate shares in his videos are undeniably deeply offensive. We're going to show you some of them on this show.
No, they're not undeniably deeply offensive. Everything is deniably
what he
offensive.
Says about them or what other people say about them. Tens of millions of people across the world follow Andrew Tate, and with a big following comes a big responsibility, as well as a public interest in holding his views to account.
Now let's get this right the fuck out the gate. Piers Morgan, there is no responsibility in a big following. I've seen this before and people have talked about it like, oh, well, yeah, you know, you got a lot of people listening. You're really You are not responsible at all. Because once you assume the mantle of responsibility, you then are saying that your words are now the cause of someone else's actions. And the only action that your words need to be responsible for is sending super chat, Rumble rants or whatever to me. That's everybody's words should be responsible for, not mine. I'm saying everybody else. But you are not responsible for what other people do just because you talk. Now, certainly you can improperly wield your voice. You can use your voice for bad. That is a real thing that does exist, but it requires the intention to do so. Merely going online and stating your opinion, saying, I believe that women should be subject to their husbands or whatever. Like, if that's an opinion that Andrew Tate holds, that's fine. And if other people agree with that, that's not something you're responsible for. That's just something you believe and someone agrees with. We need to be very fucking careful because this is the road to censorship, Piers Morgan Uncensored. The idea that you have a responsibility, or more appropriately stated, a duty to someone else merely by having more people listen to you than the next person means they can regulate your speech because of an arbitrary number of listeners, views, whatever. No, that can never, ever be an acceptable position. Because once you have that position, you've conceded the regulation from the get-go, and we should not be doing that. Let me change this from the Alex Jones closing. Oh, I'm going to edit the title. I don't know if I can edit the title on Odyssey, but on Rumble, I'm editing the title to Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate. And we should just not concede that you owe something to other people by merit of being listened to, by merit of having your ideas become popular. You don't suddenly assume more of a mantle of responsibility. And the sooner we realize that, and that might make people uncomfortable, but the sooner we realize that your responsibility exists in the exact same amount, irrespective of the amount of engagement that you get, the sooner we start to understand what baseline freedom looks like, baseline liberty. I mean, just imagine it can, because it's so easy to say, well, with great power comes great responsibility or whatever. With a great audience comes great responsibility. It's very easy to say this flippant, offhanded statement. The much more challenging thing to say, is that your ideas, you are responsible always for your ideas, whatever those are, and your thoughts. That's the limit of your responsibility. Voicing your thoughts and ideas is freedom, is liberty. Not voicing them by any other means is tyranny. It is oppression of your right. Okay? But think of the lunatic cycle where we say someone voices their ideas and those ideas are that's neutral. That is just a thing that happens and it's perfectly fine. However, once 10,000 people listen, now it's not fine. The exact same idea, the exact same speech, you have now become responsible to own that or in some way, and therefore have a shackle placed upon you. Maybe it's not 10,000, maybe it's 100,000, maybe it's 1 million, maybe it's 100 million. Whatever it is, you are not more or less responsible for your own ideas and thoughts just because they might happen to become popular and or controversial. If that were the case, we would be able to shackle anyone's thoughts and speech merely by drawing attention to them. And that would be a different type of tyranny, the tyranny of the mob. That cannot be the answer. It never can. And Spider-Man has fucked us all up with this. Maphanger says there once was a queen named Morgan who was fond of tugging his organ. Such a slimy maggot and a massive faggot, his mother should have had an abortion. Whoa. Wow. You know, Maphanger, a lot of people heard that, and now you have a responsibility not to say such mean things.
If outrageous opinions are read aloud, they can be challenged and exposed for what they are. If they're silenced, the person holding these views can become a martyr. So that's why I invited Andrew.
Yeah, that's
Tate
correct.
To come
there
here
you
tonight,
go.
and he joins me now live. So Andrew, well, welcome, first of all. You come all the way from Romania to do this interview.
Correct.
What do you hope to achieve from this interview? Why are you here?
It'd be interesting to have a conversation with you. You've certainly been the subject of your own divided opinions in the world. There's a lot of people who would say some of the things you say are perhaps dangerous or toxic. So I thought you'd be a good person to speak to about this subject.
I didn't know much about you.
Is Piers Morgan ever a good person to speak to?
I became very aware of you, as the world did, because, as I said earlier, you were the #1 subject searched on Google ahead of Donald Trump. I didn't think it was even possible. Why did you get suddenly so popular / infamous, do you think?
I exploded. I certainly didn't do that with magic. I've been on the internet for a very long time.
Magic the Gathering is what
I think in the world we live in now, as the other side, the people who disagree with me, as they get more and more tyrannical in their censorships and their hate mobs, etc., as standard masculine practices are deemed toxic. I didn't put a magic spell on everybody. I managed to accumulate a large amount of affinity with the male populace across the Western world because I'm simply saying things that many men believe, think, and feel.
The problem I would say is I want to play you just a clip off the top. This is from Joe Rogan, who's somebody I absolutely love.
Sure.
And I think it explains to me.
When you say you love Joe Rogan,
what
do
I
you mean
presume
in a
my
gay
issue
way?
with you is going to be, right?
Correct.
And you
right,
you have absolutely got the right to try and persuade me otherwise.
Sure.
But Joe Rogan said this about you.
My 12-year-old and my 14-year-old asked me about Andrew Tate.
And
my
what'd you say?
14-year-old
What'd you
asked
say?
me, I said he's a legit world champion kickboxer. I go, I like him a lot. Why do you like him? And I was asking him. They said he says a lot of funny stuff on Twitter and TikTok. He f***ed up with the misogynist stuff.
Yes.
Because if he didn't do that, if he just did the pro-male stuff.
So I thought that was interesting because...
Wait, you kind of cut him off right there at the end of the... Did he say that? Notice he censored also. He beeped him out. And Piers Morgan uncensored. Censored out the fucking word. But did he say knock it off with the misogynist stuff? Is that what Joe said?
Gone over everything that's been at the center of the debate about Andrew Tate. I come down with Joe Rogan in the sense that there's a lot of stuff you say I agree with. You know, I've got 3 sons in their 20s. It's not easy actually being a young male in the modern world. And I think a lot of the things that you say about that can resonate with them. Yeah. The problem comes with the, I don't know, 10, 20% or whatever of your output which on the face of it appears to be blatant misogyny. And when you couple that with your
Blatant
massive
misogyny.
influence and huge reach, that is why the social media companies have decided to effectively cancel you. I don't believe in cancellation. I don't believe in censorship particularly. That's why I've invited you to come on the show. But I do think a lot of the things you've said are blatant misogyny. Do you accept that?
So you made a very interesting point there. You just said on the face of it appear to be blatantly misogynistic. I understand that on the face of some of the long format content I've made, if you're going to take a few seconds out of hours, chop it up, put it all over social media, accompanied with my massive fame, then things can absolutely not be taken out of context. I do not hate women in any regard. I have no negative relationship with women. No women have come forward saying I've hurt them. I've no criminal record for hurting women. There's no...
Okay. Let me be... There are some accusations. There are some accusations. I'm not saying there's anything to them. I guess I don't technically know if any women have made those accusations or if they're made by, I guess, men on behalf of some women. But there are some accusations out there about some stuff. So, I mean, there's a little bit. There's a little bit. And again, I'm not saying there's anything of merit or value to them. I think most of them have been debunked. But I think there was something on there.
No way I can be seen as the face or the devil in regards to how men treat women on the planet. I'm absolutely and utterly the opposite. I believe in protecting and providing. I've been misunderstood.
Protecting and providing, very misogynistic.
Contingents of people who have tried very hard to purport lies about me. And the truth of the matter is, I've been producing content for a very long time. Hours and hours of videos been cut down to 2 or 3 seconds of clip. Those clips have gone viral and people misunderstand me.
But I think you've used this phrase of be taken out of context. And I'm not sure that is correct in the sense that it still comes
so it wasn't made by a woman. I'm hearing
completely.
I'm
some
just
of the
saying.
things you've said, I just think are blatantly.
Well, let's do them.
I didn't know specifically.
Sure. Right. So you said this about Me Too / rape. This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania. In Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. You go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988. They'll say, well, you should have done something about it back then.
Yeah, so the point I was making was obviously the height of the Me Too scandal. And also, if we look at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, there's been a lot of high-profile cases where men have been accused of things they did not do without evidence, and their lives have been completely and utterly destroyed. Right. When I say these things, people sit and say that, oh, he hates women. I don't hate women. I think rape is disgusting. I would take a stronger stance on rape than the British government. I think these people should face the death penalty. But to sit and say that women without evidence can go forward and just make up accusations against men, even though they've been repeatedly proven to destroy men's lives at will, is absolutely not.
What about a woman who was raped back in 1988 and goes to the police?
Then the man should face absolute and complete justice.
But you understand that when that clip appears on TikTok as a clip, and all right,
as a clip, completely
okay, but it's still something that came out of your mouth.
But I mean, here's the problem: if a woman, most places have a statute of limitation because it's really fucking difficult to make a rape case 30 years. 40 years later. It's impossible. It's impossible because what you end up having is just a he said, she said. Oftentimes there's no DNA. There was no report. There's no witness to it. Like rapes don't just happen out in the open most of the time. Yet here we are using these ancient reports of rape. And look, it sucks. It really does suck. It's really unfortunate if someone commit any crime to you, and particularly the heinous crime like rape 30 years ago. But my God, like there are limitations to the legal system. And if you didn't deal with it in somewhat of a reasonable time, how are we supposed to trust the allegation? And it should be, I guess, investigated in the same way that any other 30-year-old case is investigated. What it should not be is a hammer smashing into an anvil of a social movement and crushing somebody in between without evidence or process. And that's what Tate's really talking about here. That if you go to Romania and you try and pull the Me Too bullshit, then they're just going to say, fuck off. What do you want us to do? Is 30 years ago. Anybody who even knew you guys were alive is dead. Like, how many people do you know outside of your direct family members from 34 years ago, 88 to 2022. How many people do you know from that time frame? I mean, if I go back to 88, I'm living in Houston, Texas. I'd move away 3 years later. And I can think of my friend Scotty, who I kind of know, but I haven't seen him since my wedding 18 years ago. And like, he doesn't know me. I don't know him. I know very little bits about him. But this is one of the only people outside of my immediate family members that I could say from 34 years ago, like I could name as someone I've seen since then. I mean, shit. I've got, I guess, a couple of my parents' friends who would have known me as like a little tiny child are still alive. Go back 20 years ago. How many of those people do you see? How many people like this do you see on a monthly basis, an annual basis? Sometimes you run into these people at like a class reunion or something, and that's about fucking it. It's crazy that we put credence into these allegations that you without serious amounts of evidence being put behind them.
Mouth, do you accept that when that appears on TikTok, a lot of young, maybe not as smart as you, young men, right? Impressionable, teenagers, will read that and go, what's he saying here? Is he saying that rape doesn't exist?
No,
What?
completely. I'm not going to sit here.
What an insane proposition to say that we're not going to take a 30-year-old rape accusation and treat it as gospel, to equating that to rape doesn't exist. Oh my God. And yes, I know what is allegedly going on Joe's channel. I see you guys talking about it, and that's fine. But if don't ask me to address it, because I'm not gonna.
As a professional, and say that I can't be taken out of context. What I will say is that one small sentence you've taken was from a 1-hour video where I explained that, of course, rape is disgusting. Of course, everybody should be punished for their crimes regardless of when they happen. But people are not perfect, male and female. And if you give women the opportunity to destroy men's lives without evidence, there's going to be a contingent of women who will do that. I'm trying to make a balanced and nuanced argument in a world where people have no attention span. They're going to take a few seconds, put it online, decide someone's good or bad, not be interested in the longer format video. And here I am. No, I'm certainly a person who takes personal responsibility. That's who I am as a person. But we live in a world now with TikTok videos 5 or 6 seconds long. There's no content.
Do you think women are the property of men?
No. The point I was making.
Why have you said they are?
Because I made a religious point. I said that
because they are. That's right. Get owned, bitches. Get owned. You know what? Like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it since he's not going to, and I know why he's not going to. But some women want to be owned. They want to be owned by their man, by the man that they choose. It's a consensual ownership. It's not a slavery. It's a submission. And they like that. They're into it. They like the idea that in exchange for submission, for respect, for care, for comfort, that they will be protected, provided for, respected in return. People assume that ownership implies a negative relationship. Wrong. Forced ownership implies a negative relationship. But submission is, and I don't mean like BDSM submission, although, you know what? Lots of those people are into that, and they make that a part of their lifestyle and they enjoy it, and that's fine. But it's the force of submission that has always been the problem. If someone willingly submits, and he's about to make the biblical point, I'm guessing, of women submit to your husbands, but that they always leave out the literal same line, husbands love your wives. It's an idea of an exchange. I will commit myself to you. You can lead our life and relationship. I am yours. Not to do with as you please, but to respect and honor. And in doing so, I am yours. I'm not someone else's. I'm not up for grabs. I'm not up for auction. I'm not on the block. I am yours. And that is a relationship that many people find to be very, very healthy and fulfilling, but they focus on these words like ownership and they imply a connotation that doesn't exist. I don't know if that's what Tate's talking about, but I'm guessing it's what it is. And it's so fucking disingenuous. But I would wager there are many, many women in the chat who either have found someone to quote unquote own them or who would really, really like to.
When a man marries a woman, the woman's father walks her down the aisle, and hands her away to the man. Traditionally, this is what it says in the Bible. I'm a religious person. I believe in God. I live in the most religious country in the world.
So you do think that the woman becomes the man?
I think she takes his last name.
I mean, let's watch the clip that you said about this
Sure.
so that we can get it in context.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle,
See, I'm with
to marry
Nick
the groom,
Fuentes.
the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Absolutely.
But I've been married twice, as it turns out, and on both occasions, I didn't believe that the woman was being handed to me as chattel, as property.
Perhaps the way
Maybe that's why you're married twice now, Piers.
the reason I'm asked that question repeatedly, and I'm asked in a loaded way.
So would you rephrase what you said there?
Now, that's an interesting point about phrasing. The way I would say things before I was famous, I have to take personal responsibility and accept that if I make a video that 500 people see and 1% of them misunderstand it, that's not a problem. If I make a video that 5 million people see and 1% of them understand.
So specifically on that point, I think my sister is her husband's property.
She took his last name. She married him. She wanted to join his family. She has said it herself.
Right. So she's
still a sovereign individual. She's absolutely not.
But property means that the husband owns your sister.
Listen, my friend, if we want to argue about this, you need to go back to the Bible, to the Quran. You need to argue with religious.
No, I'm not talking about anything in the Bible or Quran.
But that's what it says.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I think that if a woman marries a man and she decides to take his last name, that they have different roles and responsibilities within that marriage. And I believe that.
That's not the question.
I believe the father. I am. The father hands her.
Don't behave like a politician.
The father hands her to the man.
Right, but don't be a politician, because I think you're a straight talker, right? You keep telling me you're a straight talker. I think my sister is her husband's property. Do you regret saying it like that?
I understand that with my newfound fame, perhaps it could be phrased differently. However, I still believe that a woman is given to the man in marriage. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but not as property.
No, the property is the word that other people use when they ask me the question.
But as an equal partner in a loving union, that's what marriage actually means. It doesn't mean when you...
Property can be an equal partner in a loving union. Again, the voluntary nature of the relationship destroys the baggage of the word property entirely. Entirely.
When you get married, the woman is given to you as a bit of chattel.
Agreed.
So why say it?
But that's the way that people ask me the question. People say to me, they ask the
question.
Hang on,
you can't blame people for asking you questions. Surely, if you want to be accountable for what you've said, you've got to own your responses, not blame the question.
I own the response.
Be like me asking you a question now and you say something and then say, well, actually, I blame you for asking.
I understand, Piers. Piers, I understand. I believe the woman is given to the man. I believe she's given away by the father. I believe she belongs to the man.
So she belongs to the fundamentally, man. All right. So fundamentally, you do believe that a woman becomes a man's property.
I believe she belongs to the man in marriage.
Just say it. You're already canceled. You're already fucking canceled. Just say it. Just say, yes, I believe she's property, but I don't believe in the negative connotation you're associating with that word. Just say that. Just do it. She's given herself as the man's property willingly to him, and he is giving himself as her protector, as the responsible party for the property, as the person who is designed to preserve, protect, honor, grow, and foster the property. In the same way, not the same way, probably. No, yeah, in the same way that a damn farmer needs to get out and plow his property, a man needs to go and plow his wife, right? Like, you need to nurture and foster the thing. Find a farmer who doesn't love and respect his land, and you will find a farmer that is unsuccessful. And I'm tired of pretending that this type of relationship can't be something useful and valuable when it has been for thousands of years. Just because we don't like the connotation of the word property anymore.
To me, is misogyny.
and you're entitled to your opinion.
Right. But do you not understand
You're
why
not
people think
entitled
he is
to any
misogyny?
opinion.
I
actually.
understand why some people can be very offended by
There's
what
no
I say.
entitlement necessary
What
to
they
have an
do is they
opinion.
take a point like that and they ignore all the other points I make the other way around.
Yeah, but that's why I've repeatedly asked you about that line to see if you've changed your position. But the reality is you haven't.
It's not about changing positions. I'm a full-grown adult and I stick by the things I say and I'm responsible for them.
Which, by the way, is fine.
Absolutely.
But what you did say at the start of this little exchange, you said, you know, I wouldn't maybe say things the same way now that I did before I was famous. And yet, actually, you've doubled down and said exactly the same thing.
On certain points.
So that is what you believe. And that's my point.
Yes.
I'm trying to work out, look, I don't know you. We've
Correct.
just met, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out who Andrew Tate is and what you actually believe. I don't want to twist anything at all.
Then let me make it very clear to the camera. I believe a woman is given to the man in marriage. I believe that. I also believe a man has a duty to protect and provide for her. I believe a man should lay down his life if something happens or his wife's life is threatened. I believe that women and children first are on the lifeboats.
But men,
I believe that men.
But a man doesn't own a woman.
It's not. No. It's okay.
Unless they literally buy them as a slave.
Well, obviously, we're not talking about that. We're talking about religious.
That's not the same thing.
Biblical marriage. We're talking about something else.
Yeah, but I'm a Christian. I don't believe that I own my wife.
Do you believe your wife was given away to you when she took your last name?
I believe that there is a process where a
Did your wife take your last name, Piers?
Walks his daughter down the aisle and hands his daughter to this man, and they stand there and become a union of two loving people in a partnership. No, there's no ownership involved.
I didn't say
he's not selling her. The father of the bride isn't selling his daughter.
No, absolutely.
That's what property means.
She becomes a member of your family.
Is it?
I think we're arguing over semantics.
We're not, though, because fundamentally, I don't believe a man owns a woman. You do.
Well, I don't think a man owns any sovereign individual. I don't think we live in the world of slavery. I don't own any men or any woman.
Right.
Nobody owns
When
anybody.
you use phrases like property, that's what you imply.
I understand.
And so my point again is, you're a smart guy, right? There's no.
Wait. We're not arguing semantics. Okay, I believe that a man owns a woman. Well, they don't own her like slavery. Wait a minute. That's arguing. You're arguing semantics, Piers. Do you not realize that you just said we're not arguing semantics, but then you just argued semantics very specifically? Fucking dumb. God, Piers Morgan is such a fucking idiot. He always has been an idiot and just
denying that. You're smart, you're a good talker. I've seen a lot of the stuff. But when you, what I don't think you quite fully understand.
No, I understand
is
very well.
When
Piers.
young, impressionable people
I understand
who are
that very
not
well.
as smart see things like, I think my sister is her husband's property, yes, and you've just reaffirmed that belief. They think that they have the right to own women.
I understand that very well, Piers.
That's why people think you're a misogynist.
Completely. I understand all of this very well, which is why when you're saying I was backtracking, I'm not.
Do you have any regret, though, over the way you phrase this stuff?
Well, this is the point I was trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is when I was not nearly as famous and I was making long format content, I was not sitting there anticipating I'd become the most Googled man on the planet and that a few seconds could be taken out of context. That was not my anticipation.
No, but it's still what you believed. It's what you believe now. So what's the difference?
It's not about, you're asking me, you're saying that young people who are
If
impressive.
you said to me, look, Piers, honestly, I've had time to think about this and I wish I hadn't said it. I don't believe that. That's one thing. Actually, you've said the opposite. You said, actually, that's what I think. Yeah.
I think that when
it doesn't really matter whether you recorded it when you're famous or not famous. It's what you actually believe, right?
I believe that a man has a duty to protect and provide for a woman. I believe that a woman's father gives her away to the man. That's what I believe, and that's in my marriage. That's the circumstance I'm going to live under. If people want to live in a different scenario, that's completely theirs. Their prerogative.
You went on to say about authority over women. If I have a responsibility over her, I must have a degree of authority.
Yeah.
For the same reason, if I have responsibility over and people are going to use their mind, it's an example, an analogy. Responsibility over a child, I have to have some authority.
Yeah.
So you believe as part of your ownership or your property of the woman, you have authority over her.
No, I believe if you have
that's what you said.
I believe if you have responsibility over something, you have to have a degree of authority or you can't be responsible.
Yeah, but authority means, again, that you're the boss.
The point I'm making.
Not quite. Here I am. I'm fucking defending Andrew Tate. I don't even know if Andrew Tate believes deeply in any of this stuff. I don't know. But the idea that you are responsible for something, therefore you have some degree of authority over it. Yes, that's true. In the same way that a woman who is responsible for her husband, because she has some degree of authority over him, even though, yes, she is owned or whatever. But let's not pretend that this doesn't go two ways. And there's all sorts of ways to exercise that authority that are just fine. It doesn't mean that they have an unquestioning subservience to you. That's not what submission is. That's not what property is. That's not what any of this stuff means. And it drives me fucking nuts.
If you'll please let me finish at this point. The point I was trying to make was talking about the safety of a woman. She was walking alone at night. And I was saying, well, I wouldn't let my woman walk alone at night. And they said, well, you're not in charge of her. You don't get to decide what she does. I said, I understand. But if I'm responsible for her safety and I'm the person who's burdened with making sure she is safe, I have to have the authority to say, don't put yourself in unsafe situations. The two things are linked.
Well, you don't have authority. You have you can absolutely have the right to say to the woman you're with, I don't think you should. But ultimately,
if she decides, then I can't force her.
Right. So authority implies that you have the ability to control someone.
No,
authority authority implies that I have the moral right to sit and say that that's an irresponsible thing to do, and I'm responsible for
That's not what authority means.
Well, yes, I'm not going to. If you think I'm going to lock somebody up in their room, is that what you're implying?
No, I don't think you know what authority means.
I think you don't know what authority means.
A different description of what authority.
If I have responsibility for her safety, then I have to have the authority to tell her not to do unsafe.
Yeah, but authority means that you have some form of control over this woman.
No,
I think you're.
No, it just means that your speech to them has a higher influence than someone else's speech to them. Your boss doesn't have control over you. Your boss can make suggestions. They have authority over you. And if you do not listen to those suggestions, there is some form of consequence. The authority that husbands and wives have over each other are a series of consequences that go from the range of being angry and having to deal with someone who's pissed off at you all the way to fucking divorce. That is the authority that you have. You can punish them for their actions in any number of ways, in any range of punishments. That means you have authority. If your next door neighbor says to you, hey, don't go out at night alone, who cares what they say? But your husband says, hey, don't go out tonight alone. And you go, yeah, well, fuck you. And you go out. Guess what? Even if there's no like greater consequence, but you come home and he's pissed that you didn't listen to him. Oh, now that's negatively impacted you. You suddenly have authority. That's authority. That's literally it. And it goes from that all the way to much more severe consequences. But authority does not mean absolute control. And these people are so fucking dumb. I can't take it. Arno09, Nick, I truly hope you get popular enough to go on mainstream and get to yell at Piers Morgan in person. They'll never air it, but it'll be so satisfying. We'll see. We'll see.
What you're trying to
I'm only trying to get to what you think. Honestly, I am. I come with no agenda here at all.
I understand. And I'm explaining very, very clearly. If I have responsibility over said subject, I have to have authority of it. So let me say you have children, right?
Right.
Oh, by the way, women have a massive authority chip over their husbands. Massive. Do you know what it is? It's the V, baby. It's the fucking V. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. Drex has said it a million times. It's true more often than it's untrue by a large fucking margin. Tell you what, you want a sign of authority over the husband. It's pretty simple. If they make a suggestion and you don't follow it sufficiently enough to piss them off, you're not getting ass, man. It is not going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sex is a massive, massive poker chip in the female repertoire. And this isn't like a mystery or surprise. It's so common that it's a fucking meme on every romantic comedy, sitcom, everything ever written takes into consideration the amount of authority women have over both their husbands and literally any other man that they want with the V card. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And to pretend otherwise is just silly. Does it mean that she has absolute control over him? No, he can say no. But he'll suffer the consequences. And that consequence might be a stonewalling from sexual activity.
You have responsibility for that.
No, I have legal authority over my children. That is very different to having legal authority over my wife or my...
Now you're talking about degrees of authority, not kind. You have a degree of authority over your children that is greater than over your wife. But guess what, Piers? If your children don't do what you say, what, did you not have authority because you couldn't exercise control? Of course you still had authority.
Female partner.
Completely. But the point I'm trying to make...
So you accept that?
I accept that
you used the analogy of responsibility for a child.
My friend, these are
actually really important things.
They're important things, but you interrupt me every 5 seconds, so it's hard for me to actually explain my point. The point I'm making here is very simple. You have children, and you're responsible for their safety, so you're going to have authority to say, don't go out at night, perhaps because you want them to be safe.
I have legal authority.
You have a legal authority. Yeah. Legal authority. I'm saying that if I had a woman, and the question...
You don't. What legal authority do you have over your child, Piers? This is actually an incorrect assertion because Tate brilliantly walked him into a fucking trap, I guess. But what legal recourse do you have for your child disobeying you to say, don't go out at night? No, you can't sue the kid. Well, you throw him in jail. Oh, I told you not to go out at night. You don't have legal authority over them. I mean, you can go retrieve them. I mean, I guess you could go retrieve them, but that's less that you have legal authority over them and more the fact that they don't have legal autonomy over themselves. There's a very big difference here.
Where you've raised this soundbite from, I was asked about protecting a woman, making sure she's safe. And I would say I wouldn't want her to go out at night on her own because I'm responsible for her safety. And someone said, well, you don't have authority over her to do that. And I said, well, no, I can't force her to stay inside. But if she were to ask me, how do I protect myself at night? I would say, well, you should stay inside. That's how you should do it.
I don't have an issue with what
So we agree.
No.
It's the semantics.
No, it's not semantics.
It is semantic.
I don't think you quite get why there's a furore over what you say, with respect. Because the semantics point would be we're saying the same thing in different ways, but we're not. I'm saying to you that when you say I have to have some authority over a woman, I say to you, you have no right to any authority over a woman. You do over a child if it's your child, because you are the legal appointed guardian of that child.
Understood.
You're not a legally appointed guardian or authority over your wife or female partner.
Legally appointed, absolutely not. I agree. However, when it comes to things like personal responsibility or personal safety, men, largely by society, are accepted. We're the protectors and providers. We can sit here and pretend that in the world we live in, if me and my wife were walking down the street and men were to come up and try and attack us, I wouldn't be the one fighting. But we both know in reality I would.
Right.
I have a degree of responsibility to protect her. So if I have a degree of responsibility to protect her physically, then the point I'm trying to make is I will do my best to make sure she's never putting herself in unsafe situations.
Do you wish you hadn't used the word authority?
The authority is something that she would give to me. She would come to me and say, how can I make sure I'm as safe as possible?
But I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to point out that's not what authority means.
If someone gives, a person can give
voluntary authority is not authority.
No, but that's the point.
It's not.
Wait, no, what? What are you talking about? Almost all authority is derived voluntarily. Almost all of it in the world. Your relationships are established by contract. Your choice to live under a government or to remain under a government is technically voluntary. You could, in theory, choose just about any other government. Now, there are authoritarian regimes who might prevent you from leaving, but by and large, the overwhelming majority of the earth at this point is free to go anywhere else once they follow and submit to the legal authority that they're going to. But that is a voluntary transaction. That's voluntary. What? God, I don't know if I can watch this whole thing. It's too retarded.
Andrew, stop.
Piers, if a woman comes to me and says, I want you to keep me safe, she is handing me authority for her safety.
But do you understand the difference between having authority over somebody and somebody giving you permission to have authority?
Completely. I never said
one is consensual and one isn't.
But why are we pretending I do unconsensual things?
Because you literally say, I must have a degree of authority. I have to have some authority. And the point
only if I'm responsible for her safety. If I'm not responsible for her safety, I don't have authority.
If your position now is that
Piers it goes on to immediately admit that there's voluntary authority right after he says he doesn't. Right after he says that you don't have voluntary authority, it's not a real thing, except, well, what about voluntary? It's like, Jesus Christ. Holding two positions in your hand at the same time and both of them being retarded is Piers Morgan's specialty. Eric Speculus says Morgan is mixing up authority with dictator. He really needs a few more lessons in English because he is too stupid. Well, I mean, a dictator just has supreme authority. It's a matter of degree. Ugh. Okay.
With her permission, I would like to have authority when we go out at night to protect her. That's a different
That was
thing.
always my position.
But that's not what you said.
Yes,
that was
it
always my
is.
position. Piers.
So again, I simply say to you, do you?
It
do you
is what I said. Though.
Do you wish you'd phrase it a different?
When he says he must have authority, it's not that he needs to be granted the authority. It's the logical byproduct of having responsibility is having authority. Well, if I have this, then I must also have this. It's a simple logic question, but Piers won't get around it because Piers is stuck on the semantic argument of 2022 PC speech. I mean, that's what he's got. That's what's going on.
Different way.
No, because we're talking about long format copy where I'm talking about a woman who has come to me and said, you're responsible for making sure I'm safe. I said, well, then I have to make the decisions.
When an
which gives me
18-year-old
authority.
boy reads, I must have some authority over a woman, what do you think he thinks?
Well, I understand that. And I said this earlier when you tried to say I was backtracking, which I'm not doing. I
No,
understand.
no, actually, I'm not. I don't want to.
Okay.
I'm not trying to gotcha you.
Cool.
I'm trying to work out exactly what you.
I
actually
understand with massive fame comes massive responsibility. I understand that a percentage of the population are always going to take everything that's said by anybody out of context.
Think. Would you change the wording of what you said?
No, I would just encourage people to watch my long format copy and understand it
Would
fully.
you tell an 18-year-old boy you don't have authority over women?
Absolutely.
You would say that?
Unless a woman comes to him and says, you're responsible for my safety, please make sure keep me safe. Like
I
my
see.
woman
Now
says,
that
comes to
Andrew
me.
Tate, I can sign up to.
Well, then we agree.
Yeah, but I don't agree with what you said before.
Because you're taking a soundbite from a 2-hour
yeah, but you haven't been
conversation.
taken out of context because I read you the entire sentence. It's very.
But you've ignored all the context around the sentence, my friend.
You can't ignore a sentence that says I must have a degree of authority.
But you can when there's a 2-hour conversation where a woman is telling me if she makes me responsible for her safety and me explaining, well, if I'm responsible for your safety, I have the authority to make decisions. So yes, you've ignored all the context.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking it?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
for
say.
the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is misogyny.
Why?
Because that is not misogyny. That is just a very unfortunate reality of the culture that we live in right now that people have been building since the 60s. That's just the answer. And that some men value that differently than other men is not misogyny. It's just a fucking fact. Oh my God.
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds and having effectively been...
So here's a... Piers knows this, and this is the most fucking frustrating part of this. Piers knows the name of the game when talking about a subject in a provocative realm like the internet. You speak in generalities for the purpose of generating conversation around the fringes. Not that I'm here to, like, I'm siding with Andrew Tate on all this stuff because this is an obvious, like, this is a hit piece of Piers Morgan against Andrew Tate. That's becoming pretty fucking obvious. But let's just do this. Let's just do this way. on average, the likelihood that a 25-year-old has been through more baggage-inducing relationships than an 18 or 19-year-old is true. Let me disagree with Andrew Tate. I do not find 18 and 19-year-olds more sociably attractive, because that's what he's talking about. He's not even talking about physical looks here. He's talking about the attractive nature of a relationship, of a social encounter, not just purely physical or sexual. I do not find an 18 or 19-year-old more attractive than a 25-year-old by default or anything else. In fact, 18 and 19-year-olds are some of the hardest people on earth for me to talk to, men or women, because I don't fucking understand the stage of life that they're in anymore. I'm long past understanding what that is. And I have been for a really long time. I'm more likely to gel with a 25-year-old who is perhaps married for 1 to 3 years at this point, something like that. Maybe has a kid. Maybe he's had a job, has graduated college. Like, that's actually, for me, it's kind of the opposite of what Andrew Tate is saying. But it's not because I'm measuring the amount of penis that has gone through them. It's because the different life experiences that are interesting to me are prevalent. And I find 18 and 19-year-olds to be really, really difficult to relate to. And it's not super easy for me to relate to a 25-year-old either, but it's easier because they've been through more life than the 18 and 19-year-old. If I was a single guy with Ferraris and Lamborghinis in my McMansion, being a playboy like Andrew Tate, I might actually be able to relate to the 18 and 19-year-old more than the 25-year-old. Because the attachments that I have are different than what he has. We might have different tastes, and that's okay. That's a fine thing. But the reason you make the provocative statement is to have those conversations around the edges. That's what makes online conversation and communication interesting and worthwhile, is what's going on in the outside. Lonely God 64 says, how many miles of Binger cock do you think Morgan has run through in his lifetime? I guess more than 100. Whew. 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 But yeah, I get, like, look, and I get the idea of like the super young or whatever, like, thing. Like, a lot of guys are really attracted to 18, 19, 20-year-old girls. Women, I shouldn't call them girls, I guess. 18, 19, 20-year-old women, physically attracted to them. They have a particular look about them, and then women's bodies mature and change. And you know what? Those tastes are going to vary depending on who you are. I mean, that's just is. There have been times in my life where I was much more attracted to 18, 19, and 20-year-old women than I am now. Like, that's true. I don't know. Like, none of this is controversial so far, unless you make it controversial by having a fucking hissy fit over it.
Having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
That would, well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny.
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying that age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist perhaps, but misogynistic absolutely.
Is that
not.
But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
So you don't think if you're saying slightly hateful things about a 25-year-old...
That's not slightly hateful.
It's not hateful.
Well, you think you say that to a woman's face if she's 25?
It's not slightly hateful.
So you would go up to a 25-year-old woman and tell her exactly what I just read out?
Why would I walk up to a random 25-year-old woman?
Because you said it in public on the internet, and it's been listened to and watched by millions and millions of young, impressionable boys.
Correct. There was a large panel. There was a conversation. There was hours long of conversation. There were feminists attacking men for toxic masculinity and attacking me and saying things, and I said things back which were going to antagonize.
But I think,
which you've done yourself a bunch of times.
I think a lot of allegations of toxic masculinity are not toxic.
Correct.
I do think that kind of sentence that I just read out, that paragraph, is actually toxic. If you genuinely mean that, and you say you wouldn't say it to a woman's face, but you said it in public about women of that age, I do think that's misogynist. And I think you probably do too.
I don't think it's misogynistic. I understand why it can be insulting.
You wouldn't say it to a woman's face?
Well, it depends. You're making out like I'm walking around the street going up to random 25-year-olds.
Well, you're doing it to tens of millions of people online.
It's completely different. You would say all sorts of things that are generalizations that you would not walk up to someone and say, hey, by the way, I don't know if I can do this. I hate the fucking dishonesty. I hate the fucking dishonesty. Can't we just have... Why can't we just have a moment of fucking honesty in our discussions? Why can't we do that? Why can't we give anybody the benefit of the doubt anymore? We just can't. Speaking of the benefit of the doubt, got something very important to discuss right now. That's right. Birchgold.com/knows is sponsoring this misogynistic, probably racist, and overtly hateful show, as they are sponsoring every live stream for the month of October. You knew it was coming at some point because, frankly, when I'm talking, someone's always coming. And we are here to talk really quickly about Birch Gold. What do? The Birch Gold Group allows you to buy gold and silver. I mean, that's the bottom line of it. If you want to buy some gold and silver, you could do it through Birch Gold Group. But more importantly, what they focus on is the ability to protect part of your IRA or 401k by investing a portion of it into these physical assets, which tend to be resistant to volatility, specifically things like inflation or market volatility, when the stock market goes up and down and back and forth because Joe Biden is driving and he forgot his fucking keys, right? We know that this happens and these assets tend to be a little bit more resilient. So for some people, it might be appropriate to properly hedge a portion of your retirement against those things by diversifying into these physical assets. And the Birch Gold Group is a group that can help you out with that. What you do is you go to birchgold.com/knows and you click on one of these green buttons, either one, they do the same thing, and they will get to you a free information kit with a little bit more about it. You can determine if it's the right move for you. It may be, it may not be. If it's not, fuck right off. Don't say, hey, thanks, I'm not interested, fuckos, and then hang up the phone or whatever. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't say the fuckos part because it's kind of rude, but I might. But yeah, if it's not for you, you don't do it. If it is for you, you go, okay, maybe I'd be interested in doing that, and that's great. But make the informed decision. They've got an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. They've been around for years. They've got thousands and thousands of definitely not bot-generated positive reviews on various social media, and that is really fantastic for them. But let's get to the real important thing for just a second. The real important thing is that the Birch Gold Group contacted me and says, hey, who we know who you are. We'd like to work with you on a campaign. Would you be interested? And I said, okay, what can I say? What can't I say? And they said, you are you, be you. That's what we're here for. We're here for you. We're not here to control you. We're not here to have authority over you. We're not here to do any of that. Just be who you are. And that'll be just good enough for us. And I said, I really, because some of my jokes involve noses. And they're like, don't worry about it. You just go ahead and be you and just share people the link. We'd really appreciate that. And if they check out that free information kit, that's all we're asking. I said, cool, let's dance. Let's dance, motherfuckers. And then they hung up really quickly and really uncomfortably. But we still did put together a deal. And so with that, I I always like supporting companies who are willing to stick their necks out on the line for some free speech and recognize the most important aspect of business, and that is the almighty fucking dollar, and not quibble and kvetch over things that are not important, such as a spicy joke or whatever. So check them out if you want. If you don't want to, don't. Thanks for hearing me out. All right, back to this shit, I guess, for a little bit.
Difference?
Not at all. We're discussing a topic. We were discussing the ideal age of a man.
Should young boys, right, in their teens, are you comfortable that they would have that mindset? Be honest.
I think that young
Wait.
boys.
A young boy in their teens should probably be more attracted to the 18 or 19-year-old girl than the 25-year-old girl. Like if we're just going to go by proximity in age, then yeah, that makes more sense. What the hell are we talking about? Like, there are ways to make Piers' argument, and this is definitely not it. Well, do you want young boys who are 14 and 15 to be more attracted to 18-year-olds than 25-year-olds? 18. I want them to be more attracted to the 18-year-old than the 25-year-old. That's what I want them to do.
In their teens lack life experience, they lack nuance, and they need to be very, very careful what they're digesting online, whether it's my content or anybody else's.
Yeah,
I think
you know for a fact millions of them are digesting exactly what you're saying.
So
completely. The entire internet, to a degree, I think any subject you can find, there's going to be a whole heap of
I come
content.
back to the Joe Rogan thing, Andrew. Is that a lot of what you say I agree with.
Yeah.
Right? I do, genuinely. I've written a lot of stuff you said. A lot of the stuff you talk about, I think, yeah, he's got a good point, right? So we agree about a lot of things. But when I read that kind of thing, I'm like, how much of that is you? How much of that is some act? Do you regret saying stuff like this?
I don't.
And actually, do you see it as weakness to admit you shouldn't have said something like that?
No, I don't live with regret. I think what's happened is that, like I said, long format content, arguments with feminists, arguments with the toxic masculine crowd, arguments with the left, and they're going to take a small clip, small sentence from ours, and they're going to try and paint me as a
But
villain.
I'm not left all right.
I don't know what you are.
Exactly. That's my point. No, but that's my point.
And I understand. And you're doing exactly as I knew would happen on this interview, which is because you're a busy man. You're not going to watch hours and hours and hours of video.
Actually, I have watched hours and hours of video, and I'm going to come to the stuff where I agree with you, and I'm going to come to the stuff about your censorship, which I have issues with. So this is, it's a long interview, right?
Sure.
I just thought off the top, you said to me, and you were quite bold about it. Well, go on, then let's go through these.
And you should keep.
Wait a minute. Am I in a war with Tug? What the hell is this? Like, where Tug and I are bros. I just spent all fucking day yesterday talking about like how Tug and I both, like, our channels are like 3,000 people or whatever, like 3,000 subscribers. We've been friends through the whole fucking time. Like, what is going on with the goddamn the weird like rumor thing? What is happening here? Oh my god. Wait, hold on. I got to go back because I missed what just got said. By the way, I have no issue with anybody at all. Like, if there's an issue that is out there, someone has taken the issue with me. Because I don't give a shit. All I want to do is my show and make offensive jokes and like talk about people and talk about law and talk about life and have fun with it. That's all I want to do. I just can't like imagine wasting my time on anything else. If someone has beef with me, they have beef with. I know Tug doesn't have beef with me. I know Tug doesn't have beef with me. I don't have beef with him. There are people out there who may or may not have beef with me, and that's fine. Tug isn't one of them. But yeah. So, like, I want to be very clear. Someone said, "Nick, are you at war with Tug?" And I've seen this pop up a couple places. No. And I think it's related to something Tug said in chat on like I think it was on Mindset Stream or something, where Tug was explaining that he asked to stream the Johnny Depp trial with me, like we were going to stream it at first. And then we did for the first couple days, if people don't remember. And then Tug decided, because he wasn't sure if he was going to stream the whole thing or if he had time. And then Tug decided to stream it on his own, which is a really good choice that I fully supported and thought was great of him to do. That was never anything to do with any sort of beef or anything like that. And we tried to dispel that over and over. Tug and I have always been friends. Like that's never been anything else. Oh no. Are you guys rating Joe's chat still? Jesus. Well, have fun with that. M. Kupari says the property question threw Tate off because of the cam girls he keeps trapped in his Romanian porn dungeon. Different kind of property than a wife. Very common misconception. Wait, so do I have to check in on this fucking drama? Do I have to be dad to these fucking people? Is that what we have to do? God damn it. What the hell's happening now? Is this what we need to do? Is this what's happening? Hold on.
I'm trying to keep up with y'all. John Cook says, Joe, I've been waiting to hear this. I watch LawTube to hear things unvarnished. Hogue saying that YouTube has the right is unvarnished. Legal Byte saying she doesn't comment without knowledge is unvarnished. I don't know what unvarnished means in this context.
Meaning it's not polished. Meaning it's like.
Well, meaning it's not varnished.
It's not like curated.
No.
Or it's real.
All right.
Which I appreciate that.
An internet loser says, from the position of the chat, this is only about perceived character. The fact that character assessment comes from their speech is not an attack on their free speech.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Tankrat says, my grandmother taught me that if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. In other words, don't freaking talk crap to people you disagree with or dislike. Do you guys agree with that in general?
Well, I think it's
no.
I disagree. I don't agree with it, but I think this is one of those situations.
I disagree
where
with
you're
that.
damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If
Nate
you
sounds tired
if
as
you didn't
shit.
say anything, we'd be saying, "Why the hell did you say anything?" Oh my god! Now you said something. Now you gotta get you said the wrong thing. You didn't say.
All right,
That's what I'm saying. This is
less interesting than I thought it was. I thought ranting was happening over here. What happened to the ranting? I was falsely advertised to. Wait, hold on. Get the fuck out of here. I was falsely advertised to about ranting. Oh, well. I don't care. I want to be very clear. I don't care. I don't need anybody to argue or gripe on my behalf. I don't need anything like that. I'm just a humble merchant, right? I'm just here selling my birch gold. That's all I want to do. Sell my birch gold and talk about stuff. I don't need anybody to do anything like, deal with any of that shit. So I just thought I was going to get to turn in. Wait, what? Sorry, I read something funny in chat. I just thought I would get to tune in during a spicy rant, and I didn't. So now I'm
understand.
depressed.
And you're doing exactly as I knew would happen on this interview, which is because you're a busy man. You're not going to watch hours and hours and hours of video.
Actually, I have watched hours and hours of video, and I'm going to come to the stuff where I agree with you, and I'm going to come to the stuff about your censorship, which
Sure.
I have issues with. So this is, it's a long interview, right?
Sure.
I just thought off the top, you said to me, and you were quite bold about it, well, go on, then let's go through these.
And you should keep going. I will sit here and stand by what I said. I believe that
on that, I've just read to you then.
Yeah.
Do you wish you hadn't said that?
I understand how it's been misconstrued. I understand how it's been weaponized against me. Do I regret it because it's been weaponized and used against me? Well, that's slightly annoying.
That's not why I want you to
Did I
regret
at the time mean what I said in the context of the conversation, which obviously you're not familiar with and the people at home are not familiar with? No, I meant what I said.
The 25-year-old women, they've just talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up.
Well, there's a whole bunch of context and conversation around that's been missed, and I
I don't
encourage
think I'm
you.
missing much context.
Well,
It's pretty-
I encourage people who are interested to go watch it.
Right, but I mean, I've just read out 3 sentences on the bounce there. I don't think there's any context I'm missing. I mean, you made it pretty clear what you think about the difference between 18 and 90-year-old women.
I wasn't
and
talking about
26-year-olds.
myself even. I was talking with a Muslim guy who was on the panel, and he was explaining how youth is very valued in most parts of the world, and why virginity is valued in most parts of the world. The feminists were arguing against it, and I was sitting there, actually very much like you, a mediator between the two, explaining why in most of the world still today, perhaps not in the Western world, virginity is coveted, youth is coveted in most of the world, and throughout all of human history. And I was sitting there making the point, explaining why in certain parts of the world they think how they do,
Well, in large parts of the world,
even though it's very different to the Western world. So I was making a point, mediating between two groups very similar to yourself. The conversation has been misunderstood. They've taken this clip of it and it's been weaponized and used against me. I understand that is because I'm now the most famous Google person on the planet. It's inconvenient, sure, but I'm definitely not a danger to women in any regard. I date women 25, 26, 27 years old all the time. None of them are offended by the things
I don't
say.
think you're a danger to women.
Of
I think
course
that
not.
I think the danger, if it concerns you, the danger is the influence you have on young men to have this
It's
kind
not
of
a
mindset about women.
danger.
And that's really where I'm trying to get to what you really believe and how much you've just.
What you really need to consider is why young men are willing to accept the words of a random former kickboxing retard. Let me embiggen myself. This is the fucking point here. What we really need to figure out is why young men, young boys, whatever they are so apt to immediately latch onto this. What is going on in the world that the Andrew Tate ultra misogynistic worldview or whatever is so fucking appealing to them? What is it? Because that's the problem. That's the actual issue. It's that the margins are so pushed to the extremes right now, and we're trying to force everyone to this extreme over here, and then wondering why this extreme on the other side looks palatable to people. If you try and massively control thought and experience, if you try massively to control everybody and funnel them into one particular ideology or one particular perspective about something, and remembering that that perspective is that you as a boy or a male are inherently dangerous, inherently less valuable, and inherently disgusting and unworthy. That is the Western societal approach to young men. And we wonder why in God's name they would listen to someone who says, yeah, actually, you're not a piece of garbage just by having a dick. We're fucking curious about this? It's still a question? Why? Why is this hard for people to understand? Why is it hard for, especially when we're talking about 14, 15-year-old boys, kids who are struggling with identity, who are told that by the nature of their gender that they are less valuable, which is kind of funny. Like it's ironic, I think, coming from the feminist side of the aisle here, that these boys are told that by nature of being male, that they are less valuable than someone else, that they don't, especially if you're white, I guess, that you don't deserve a job before a person of color, and preferably a BIPOC woman or whatever, right? Like that's who deserves your job. And you just have to wait because the other white males who came before you, they had it good. So you can't. I'm sorry that you don't get to have it good because somebody else did. You try and figure out the fucking mystery of why at that point these kids would latch on to a message like Tate's. And for the record, Tate's message isn't really even that radical. It's just that we've so radicalized the normal position that something close to the middle looks insane.
Shot off because you think it's like entertaining and you haven't really given it much thought. And whether now you're a bit older and you've had all the fallout, whether part of you is thinking, actually, if I had, as Joe Rogan says, if you hadn't said stuff like this, you'd probably still be on all these platforms. You'd be massively more popular, massively more.
Would you be massively more popular? This is a misnomer. Without the offensive stuff, would Andrew Tate be massively more popular? I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so at all. And this is a thing that always happens. Well, if you had just moderated your speech, then you'd be more popular. No. No, actually. Not at all. Like that's not how this works. Aviva asked me today, he's like, what why did you say what you said to get your final strike? Well, one, I wasn't thinking about it. Could I have moderated my speech? Probably. But here's the reality. If I had checked myself and self-censored, I'd be a little bit less me, wouldn't I? It would have been a little bit inauthentic if I had caught myself and carefully couched my words and blah, blah, blah in a way that's a-characteristic. It would be a-characteristic. Then I'd be someone else. I'd be something less. Something less than what I am. And if Andrew Tate, I mean, for whatever he is, if he had just left out all of these uncomfortable things, he'd be something less than what Andrew Tate is. And I don't think he would be more popular. And if you're supposed to compromise your speech for the platforms, it's the platforms that are the problem then, not the speech.
Famous, massively richer. So I'm really just trying to get to, on the blatantly misogynist stuff, do you just wish you hadn't said it?
With great power comes great responsibility. It was certainly said before the great power came. It's inconvenient to a degree. However, like I said at the time, with the context of the conversation, I know that I'm not saying things which I believe to be detrimental to the world. However, they've been misconstrued and they've been misunderstood.
If a 25-year-old woman was watching this, would you say, I'm sorry for saying that?
No.
Well, I wouldn't want anyone to be offended by anything I say. But I say things, I say things that offend. And this is the thing that's interesting, Piers. Please let me finish.
I mean, you're behaving like a politician.
No.
You could say I'm interrupting.
You do.
But you're answering a different question to the one I asked you. So as an interviewer, you're behaving.
Sure. Okay, let's
Okay, you accept that. Let's accept we both got on. Okay. So again, my point is simply, if a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments, would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with it.
But is that the kind of world for women that you?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
You're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry.
Wait, don't you live in England? Or does he live in Romania? Oh, shit. M. Kupari says, there's an endless parade of people willing to take advantage of lost young men, milk them to get rich or famous. OnlyFans girls, the Jack Murphy types, etc. Yes. Yes.
For saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine.
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where
you don't think it's fine.
The reason
this isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
that doesn't tell me what you think.
I think he should have. I don't think big criticism of Andrew Tate here. He tried to do this quibbling equivocation where, well, in some parts of the world, this is how men and women interact with it, blah, 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 blah. No, fuck it. Stop pretending you weren't talking about the Western world here. Because this is pretending. And there are all sorts of reasons to pretend or whatever, and I'm not sure what his reason to pretend here would be. Again, he's already canceled from everything, but he's talking about the West when he's talking about the 19-year-old and the 25-year-old. He's not talking about Iran. It's like, well, these Iranian women, these 25-year-old Iranian women have seen just miles and miles of cock run through them all the time, getting fucked at clubs every left and right. That's not what he's talking about at all. He's talking about in the West. He's talking about general desirability in the United States, in Britain, in Germany, or whatever. Like, that's what he means. And it's annoying that he's not sticking with that. And I think it's a mistake. And Piers is kind of capitalizing on it here. Andrew Tate is talking about westernized women, not Eastern women, not women in oppressive regimes, not women in burqas. Like, women in burqas are not just getting fucking railed out like crazy by the time they're 25. Well, unless they were married at 6 or whatever offensive thing I can say. That's just not like, and I don't believe at all that that's what he was talking about.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable.
Is that a truth?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about. It's not a truth I created.
Hang on. You're digging it again. What do you mean that's a truth in other parts of the world? That's what you said. It's not, you're not talking about another part of the world. You're talking about what you believe is the difference between 18 and 90-year-olds and 26-year-olds.
I was talking about
your belief.
I was talking about what the people on the panel believe the difference is.
So what do you think the difference is?
I think the difference is age.
What's the difference then?
Well, then a 26-year-old's older than a 19-year-old.
And so you stand by what you said about talking to the guys, being to the club more times, being effed and done more times. Well, you believe that or not?
No, there's plenty of 26-year-old women who have been with one man or virgins,
right.
Of course.
So you don't believe that?
I don't think that the age is the only thing that's going to decipher how many men and women.
Right, so if you don't actually believe what...
Jesus Christ. Okay, we make selection. Selection happens very, very fast. Within seconds. Selection happens within seconds and then takes years sometimes to undo. And we select on a set of factors. Physical attractiveness. I'm very, very sorry. I'm sure there's a nice, super fun and awesome bunch of frumpy, ugly people out there. I guarantee you there are. I know some of them. And it's fantastic. But on the list of things that people value, especially right away on selection criteria, attractiveness is really high. It's really, really fucking unfair, I guess. It's really unfair. But if you're a sexy guy or a smoking hot chick, guess what? More people are coming up to you in the bar than Lizzo or whatever. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. But only because Lizzo is Lizzo. Lizzo has a bunch of other factors that for some reason people value. She gets past that initial selection criteria through having millions of dollars, being super boisterous, being really fucking outgoing or whatever, and irritating in my opinion, but some people might find that to be funny, and being famous. That, you just trumped the whole attractiveness thing really quickly for a lot of people. Not for me, but for a lot of people. But if Lizzo wasn't Lizzo, if it was just someone who looked like Lizzo walking around, they're going to immediately be discarded over someone else who's more attractive. The same goes in a lot of ways with age. And like I said, if someone is attracted to that 18 to 19-year-old look, a 25-year-old woman who's a little bit more mature, might have a little bit broader hips, especially if she's had a kid, maybe 2 kids by the time she's 25. Fuck, 3 kids by 25 is not unreasonable. They look different. And if you're selecting based on a young appearance at the outset, and you're making inferences about what that means at the outset, you're just filtering, just like on Tinder when you swipe left. You go, you swipe, newsflash, on Tinder, you've probably swiped left on someone you really have a great relationship with. It's probably happened. But you're selecting based on an initial set of criteria. That criteria doesn't explain the person, but it does add a quick hit of value. And that's what people, these conversations just can't get nuanced enough, I'm guessing.
What you said, just say sorry.
It's not about not believing what I'm saying. It's about you understanding that there's large conversations going on.
I'm just reading back stuff you've said.
I know
and I'm
you are.
asking you, do you believe it?
I believe that it's more likely a 26-year-old's had more partners than a 19-year-old.
Right. You don't know that.
I don't know that. You're right.
He said it's more
In fact, there could
likely.
be absolutely no evidence for that whatsoever.
Completely agree.
So why say it? Why stigmatize all 26-year-old women?
It's not about, we're repeating ourselves here.
Well, not really. I'm just trying to get to what you actually believe.
I believe that men find youth attractive in general. I believe that in the context of the conversation,
25-year-old women aren't old.
I agree with you. They're not, especially I'm old. I'm a lot older than that.
Hmm.
The point I was making was part of mediating a panel, a conversation between feminists and some Muslim guys.
I get it.
Okay,
I get it.
good.
But
So you understand why I said the sentence.
But as far as I know, you weren't espousing what a Muslim man might think. You were espousing what you think.
I was espousing what the people on the panel believed.
But you were saying what you think.
I feel like you're trying to pin me down.
If it's not what you believe, just say, I don't believe that.
What part wouldn't I believe?
Well, you tell me which part you don't believe. There's the sentence. Which part would you now say you don't believe?
I believe that 25-year-old women perhaps have had, because they've been alive longer, maybe have had more partners, but I don't believe that makes them a bad person.
Right. But you understand that the way you phrased it makes every 25-year-old woman
I understand.
No, it does not. God, it's not every. It's in general. The propensity, the likelihood, and my God, it is so much fucking more likely that a 25-year-old has had multiple partners or has had more partners than an 18-year-old just by the nature of the passage of time. This isn't even controversial. This isn't strange or weird. It's, if it were the opposite, if we're to say, well, it's much more likely that an 18-year-old has had more partners than a 25-year-old, it's logically inconsistent and irreconcilable. It's fucking stupid to suggest anything different. And I don't get, this is...
No, I don't think so.
Of course you do. You're not stupid, come on.
Piers.
Andrew, you're not stupid. You know what that sounds like to any 25, 26-year-old woman.
Completely. And
right? So you have maligned every 25, 26-year-old woman with that statement. And I'm simply asking you, to all those who are not of the type of women that you've described it, are you sorry?
I don't want anybody to be offended by anything I say. I want to be a positive force in the world. I don't want anybody to hear what I say and make them feel bad about themselves. I want all people to live righteous and good, whether they're male or female.
Just say you're not sorry because it's fucking true. Just say it. Just Reeves says, oh my fucking God, say it with me. Struggle session. No, I've not, I've not seen Asmongold's video talking about how Piers destroyed Tate, nor did I watch Destiny's video about how Piers destroyed Tate. But I saw Destiny's title and I was like, huh, I wonder if that happened. I don't think Piers is destroying Tate in this. I think Tate is not doing himself too many favors, though.
And anybody who's
you lead a righteous life?
I mean, Piers is being completely disingenuous, but I wish Tate would just say, no, I'm not sorry because it's true. Like, just say it. He's right. Like, he's 100% right that a 25-year-old is more likely to have had multiple partners than an 18-year-old, and he values someone with less partners. That's an okay position. And he thinks that men largely value people with less partners. I think that when he talks about men, I'm going to assume he's talking about men who are looking for specifically someone to have a bunch of children with, or some children, a family with children. I think that's what he's going for. I think that's the man he's talking about. And by the way, not all men are looking for a relationship with a woman who's going to give them a bunch of children or even any children. And there are probably a shitload of men out there who would rather select for a bunch of other factors, specifically like hotness over youth. And some men are attracted to women who are a little bit more mature looking. than an 18-year-old. Some of them are looking for experience. Like some of them would specifically select for experience. I think someone who maybe has been with a partner for a really long time and something happens to that partner, either divorce or maybe like a divorce or an unfortunate death or something like that. They're looking for a new partner. They may not want someone who is 18 or 19 years old. So Ty, my friend Ty, he deals with business owners quite a bit. We're talking about multimillionaire business owners, guys who built like a steel mill out of nothing, and now they're going to sell their business for $70 million or whatever. Okay. And a lot of these guys will get divorced at 55, 56 years old. And then they'll like get married to like a 22, 23-year-old because they'll pick them. Oh, she's super hot or whatever. And guess what? Those marriages don't last. They don't last very long. So some guys would actually select for maybe a woman with more experience. Maybe it was with one partner. Maybe she's a divorcee or a widow or something like that. Or maybe not, because maybe they're just interested in someone who will be faithful to them, but also be wicked in the sack. And they don't want to go through the experience of like, I guess, fucking training them up. And there's a lot of women who would say the same about guys. Like they would want a guy who's a little more experienced rather than some young 15-year-old or whatever. Well, hopefully, maybe some 18-year-old who hasn't been with a lot of women and who would be like a chore to fucking train. I knew a chick like that in college. She's like, I do not want some young guy who's never been with a woman ever, because she wanted a guy who could rock her fucking world. Like there's all sorts of selection criteria when we get down into specifics. But he's talking very generally about a very specific type of man. I wish he'd just own it because it's right. Like he's just right on this.
I think I do, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
You boasted openly of having 6, 7 partners at once. So is that righteous? I'm not taking there's no moral view from me. Simply asking you what you think righteous means.
I think righteous is living true to your heart and knowing that you're doing good by people, not snaking anybody, not lying to anybody. I know I live a very righteous life.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
How many times?
Plenty. I believe in love between men and women.
Real love, where it's,
yeah. I believe.
How many times would you say?
Enough.
Most people in love don't know they're in love.
A beautiful union. I think we're slightly different, but when we work together, we're the most powerful force in the world.
But how many women have you loved?
I don't know, Piers. A few.
Give me a ballpark. 5, 10, 20?
Let's say.
You don't forget how many people you've been in love with.
Let's say 10. I mean, I've been in love, and I certainly believe that men and women, when they work together, it's the most beautiful force on the planet. I believe in family. I believe in children. I believe in.
If you believe in family and children and love, why are you single?
I'm not single.
Well, you're not married. That's what I mean.
Well, if I was married, the last thing I would do is advertise it to the feral psychopaths on the internet. So
I'm not a feral psychopath.
Well,
you called me friend earlier.
Can be debated.
Randall McCallum says, so Nick knew a hoe. No, I knew a chick who was in a really long-term relationship with one guy that she had had a lot of sex with, and then they broke up. And then she didn't want to find another guy and rebuild like a bunch of that energy. She wanted to start a little further down the road. That's what she was looking for. I guess that could be a hoe, but it's literally like her second partner. That's what she was looking for. I don't know how to judge her choices there. Aussie Mozzie in my chat here says, genuine question. Can you explain to me what men think a feminist is? No, but I can tell you what feminism is to me right now. As a woman, I don't think I'm awful. And it's starting to feel embarrassing to be a woman when so many men talk like they don't want women anymore. I think you're saying they don't women anymore. I don't think I even understand what a feminist truly is, as I just care about people and don't have some script I follow. I know I don't like women who don't treat their partners well. Okay, so what feminism used to be was a movement. This is like first and second wave feminism, I guess, are the technical terms. But it's a movement for equal rights for women to men at a time when rights were literally not equal. Like there was no right to vote or whatever. And Some women wanted that and other women did not. And it's not like a universal thing that all women wanted the right to vote because they believed that the right to vote would confer responsibility to do a whole bunch of shit that they didn't want to do. We're not getting into that discussion. We're going to make a broad blanket general statement that the early forms of feminism were women should be brought to legal equality or parity with men. That was early feminism. Then came later waves of feminism, third and fourth wave feminism, where suddenly they didn't want legal equality. They wanted something called equity. And we're seeing equity all over the place now. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And why is this important? Why is this distinction between equity and equality important? It's because equality simply says that people are blind to whatever condition you have. They treat you the same. Equity says we must specifically recognize a particular condition and elevate the owners of that condition above the other due to a perceived or even real deficiency that previously existed. So when we look at it this way, we say, okay, women haven't been in the mainstream workforce as long as men. By the fucking numbers, you're going to have more male executives than females, because once women enter the workforce, it's going to take time for them to fill the ranks and matriculate upwards into executive positions. It will necessarily take time. So equality would say that when a job application comes in, or a boost for a promotion comes in between two candidates, one man, one woman, they would not look at the gender of the two candidates. They would look at the experience qualifications of those two candidates, and they would choose the one that is more experienced, and they would promote them as more deserving. Maybe they have more seniority as well. That could come in, whatever it is. They would promote the person who's more qualified for the position. In a hypothetical ideal world, I know there's a million things that go into job selection, but in this wonderful computer simulation, you would ignore the genders, ignore the races or whatever, and you would just determine based on skill. Okay, this more skilled wins, they get the position. That's equality. Equity goes, whoa, we've got a man and a woman, and we have traditionally less women in these roles than we have men. What we're going to do is add a level of favor to the woman to compensate for the fact that we would want to see more women in this position due to the fact that women have been artificially suppressed over men or under men. And so therefore we're going to specifically look at the gender and determine that being a woman is of value over being a man. Now, theoretically, the man could have a sufficient list of qualifications to outdo that. But equity looks at it and gives more value to some innate characteristic. This is the quintessential idea of modern affirmative action, which has changed pretty dramatically from its inception too. But that being said, this is what third and fourth wave feminism are. It's to take the female trait and to assign a value to it that is superior to men. And I think the fourth wave feminism is to probably devalue the male trait to provide equity at a faster pace is the best way to describe it. So what is feminism? It really depends on what you mean. If feminism means simply equal rights, then call me a fucking feminist, I guess, because I think that everybody should have equal rights, but in equal opportunity. But if you want to have equal outcomes, which is what equity looks to do, is to equalize the back end. And I'm all about the back end, but not in this category. That is what feminism is right now. It's what racial activism is today as well. It's about equalizing the back end, which is to control the outcome of society rather than the beginning or the opportunities that are presented. And that is completely fucking incorrect in my opinion. And men, this is mostly the product of, I'll say, fourth wave feminism, but a little bit of third. Men are literally being devalued and they're feeling it. And so when you've got men who don't want to be with women, It's because they are being put into a lower class. Since they're being put into a lower class, they're rebelling against those lower classes. They're rebelling against that. And they're saying, fine, I'll just fuck right off then. I don't need you. I can get a doll, or I can do whatever I want. This is what you hear Drexel talk about all the time. I don't necessarily agree that that's the right thing for men to do, but I certainly understand where a lot of men are coming from in this thing. They feel like, well, if society's not going to value me, then I'm not going to value society in any way. I'm not going to value, or I shouldn't say value society, value the structure of society that these people are trying to build, because they're not going to build anything. They're going to destroy it. So that's that. I hope that's an explanation of what my perception of what's going on is. And I think I'm correct. Aussie Mozzie says, but we are biologically different and men have qualities that women don't have. Why can't women accept that? I don't know. Equality is fine, but the reality is women want to be loved by a man. Do they want their cake and eat it too? Well, yeah. I mean, and those biological realities matter and they're complementary, and that's fucking fine. That's the whole thing is like, this is why equality is fine, because there is a woman who can do some task that is particularly suited to men, right? Like you have physical tests, which are going to largely favor, on average, men. But there are a bunch of like weak-shouldered men, like me or whatever, who might not be up to the task of hauling that heavy thing super far. And there may be a chick like Gabby Garcia, look her up, by the way, she's a big bitch, who have much more masculine shoulders than I do, and she can probably haul the big heavy thing better than I can. Like, so when we get to the fringes, that's what we find out. But I'll still open more pickle jars than she ever will. Hey, thank you, Savvy Sue. Very nice of you. Okay. Where the fuck were we? Oh, I just looked over at Rumble. It said one was watching. I was like, well, feminist speech put me out. I don't know, guys. I can't finish this interview. It's just fucking retarded. It's dumb. Piers Morgan is dumb. He's intentionally dumb. He's always been fucking dumb. So I think I'm done watching that. I don't know. People told me to watch like the entire Piers Morgan Jordan Peterson interview. Maybe that would have been better than this, but like I kind of just fucking hate Piers Morgan at the end of the day. I don't find him interesting or entertaining. And I find him to be dishonest more often than not. But I don't know. That's just my like opinion, man. Oh God. Joe's stream is still going. All right. Well. Fun. What a disaster. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, just close that window. Whew. Whew. I'm sure I'll be inundated with clips tomorrow. But Alex Jones comes up though. Too bad. I don't want to talk about, I don't want Piers Morgan to talk about Alex Jones. Oh, we can just talk about Alex Jones. Let me just give a general stinger on this. Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, Nick Rekieta, all have the right to say what they want about anything, what they want, what they believe, what they feel. All of us get to do that. We all get to say the things that we want, believe, and feel. And we should do so without fear of big tech control over where we get to speak. Because nobody on earth thinks that Andrew Tate being on YouTube is YouTube endorsing Andrew Tate's message. Nobody thinks that way. No one fucking believes that. The only people who say that are activists trying to leverage control over another person. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. No one believes it at all. But people act like they do for the purpose of having authority over someone else. And if we're going to keep this up, all of mainstream tech needs to die and all of alt tech needs to rise. Maiden Iron, thank you for the very, very kind sentiment. Thank you. And I'm sure we would be. I'm sure we would be. You know what? I think is it time? Is it time? I'm ready. I didn't get there. I didn't get there fast enough. All right. All right. It's time. It's time for the Daily Unbreaded. Oh, this is a repeat page. I'm not going to do this one. There we go. That looks better. I just want to say, 2 people, 3. Since there's a lot of drama surrounding me. There's a lot of drama surrounding me, my situation right now. 3 people, and I'm not talking about the YouTube ban. I'm talking about the subsequent YouTube drama. 3 people have invited me on the show. And I was on all 3. Drex, Legal Mindset, and Viva Fry. That is it. No one else has asked to speak to me about this issue. All right, here we go. No love for Alex Jones. What are you talking about? Alex Jones too? Well, no, Alex Jones was reached out, had me on about the banning. I'm talking about after the banning. The subsequent drama, which is all very silly to me, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, people are misunderstanding me right now. I'm talking about the subsequent drama that has sprung up in the aftermath. But Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Look, we got globalism. We got communism. We got the socio-fascist, homoerotic, vampire, goblin, interdimensional transgender beings coming for your kids. We're going to keep these pedophiles away from you. So we're going to start at the beginning. Quit asking. Quit thinking. I'm not related to you. Get blood cancer and die. Get blood cancer and die. You should have died a long time ago. I shouldn't have propped you up. You would have died a long time ago if I didn't save you. My prayers kept you alive and you didn't deserve it. Your death is overdue. Fall off the edge. I don't care if you like it. Stop responding, chink. You don't belong here and you never will. Quit following me. Quit watching. Bleed out of your eyes. Quit thinking. Quit thinking you can understand anything. Quit thinking you can witness anything. There's no such thing as ahead of its time. There's only me, so shut the fuck up. All of you shut the fuck up. Matt Harris is the only one who speaks. Get blood cancer and die. Okay. Can't do that. I'll do. Stop living. Get the fuck out of my life. No one else exists. We're not sharing a reality. It's not like we're temporarily share a reality. It's not like we temporarily overlap or go our separate ways. We're not boats with different destinations in the ocean, not supposed to say anything. He's a fucking no one asked for his opinion. I can't wait until you're dead. That's the fucking truth. We're not sharing. There's no shared universe. No one else exists. No one else has a mind. No one else has a soul. There's nothing to share. Unbread! There we go. There we go. Unbreaded, brought to you by Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura. Woo! Whew. The Alex Jones, that wreaks havoc on the old vocal cords, I gotta say. That's why I had to switch to Jesse Ventura. Sorry. Oh boy. Here we go. I gotta share this meme real quick. Oh. Woo. He reads a page from a manifesto of a racist black guy who thinks everyone but black people should get blood cancer. Oh, God. That's fantastic. Okay. Whew. All right. I'm going to read super chats here. By the way, thank you all for hanging out and participating here on Rumble. It is very much appreciated. We'll see. Why is this drama? Ooh. Okay. Yeah, Lupial. There was a reason. All right. We're going to do this. All I can say about all of this is I'm glad everything is out in the open. Mario Kart 13 judge I just wanted to say you look very good in that suit. Oh, wait, no, to Mr. Brooks. I just wanted to say you look very good in that suit. You would have made a great manager at an Applebee's, preferably a location without a drive-through. Or wait, no, that's the judge. Oh, shit, I read that wrong. This is a judge to Daryl Brooks. I just wanted to say you look very good in that suit, Mr. Brooks. You would have made a great manager at an Applebee's, preferably a location without a drive-through. Wrestler Town says, I think Hogue is the type who took all of your fat shaming or of other people as personal. That's the 30 times just rolled in front of that arrow. I mean, I don't know. I hope that he was making a joke, because I don't ever remember saying anything about him at all. Anyway, Night of Hope, let's not gas Nick up too much here. He'll have to anchor his head to his desk with that nose. Oh, my head can't get any bigger. It's huge. Massive ego. That somebody says, Nick, it's not drama until you fly to Lithuania, then film getting beaten and robbed of your man purse on the streets by legal bites. Sweet. Oh God. Automata says, this is for asking your own chat for your Odyssey link. Never stop being you. It just wasn't working for me. Like, I had the link, it just wouldn't open. I don't get it. But yeah, that's true. My lifestyle says everybody started to click plus. It made it look like an attack. By the way, smash that Rumble Plus button. We're at pi number of Rumbles 3.14 thousand. More is better. More is unbreaded. Talking Trash and Truth says people genuinely love and need you. You're doing what you were meant to do in life. Long live the Pope. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Prep Boy Rick says rant cherry popped. Ooh, I hope it didn't hurt too much. I'd plow the redhead from the trial like Daryl Brooks plowed through those kids. Oh, shit. Damn. Wait, so which one was the redhead? She the one with the bangs? Because the other chick was brunette, the one with the nose ring and the weird shirt. I didn't like that white shirt. It felt too shouldery for me. That was strange. Okay. Cledge Fenrir, have you seen the dating site The Right Stuff? Seems to be a Fed info feed. Nope, I've never seen it. Crusader Saracen says, I swear to Allah, if I listen to Piers Morgan's faggy accent, I will find the nearest chasm and jump into it. So I'm muting it, but keeping the stream on in the background to up viewership. Sorry, Nick. Roy Rat, Mr. Rekieta, thank you for all the support you have brought to my channel. Tarantulas are out tonight working on a new cam setup. Rumble.com/user/Roy Rat. Guys, he has critters like eat each other on camera or whatever. It's perfect. Oh, shit. Ethan, Ralph is getting fucking pounded in my locals chat. Damn. Oh, this chick, I guess her hair's kind of red. This is the chick they're talking about. She's cute. She reminds me of Kimmy Schmidt, from the TV show, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She reminds me of that actress, Erin from The Office. That's who she reminds me of. She's cute. I don't know. Can't see the rest of her, so I don't know. My Lifestyle says, no, Andrew Tate is American British. Night of Hope says, responsibility used to mean accountability to one's conscience and one's family, an internal individual moral duty. That's what it meant before it was hijacked. May have meant that in Spider-Man also. My Lifestyle says his father is American, his mother is British. Cool. Like, I don't know anything about Andrew Tate, and I have no ill will or malice towards him. And I have no real, like, I'm neutral. I have no positive feelings towards him. But except for the fact that I automatically think that people who are censored become immediately more interesting. And that's not self-serving. It's just true. K-Jab, it would be very cool if you could make a toast to our Samoyed Krieger, the sweetest dog ever and a major part of the fam. We had to say goodbye yesterday. The house feels kind of empty. Thank you. What the hell's a Samoyed? I mean, I gathered that it's a dog, but I've never heard of that. You know what the worst part of the drama is? My phone is going to fucking light up tomorrow. God damn it. Very selfish. Very selfish. Shadow Falls, you think? Of course she was. Krieger, to Krieger. To Krieger, a sweet companion and who had become a member of the family. The loss of a pet may always seem like the loss of a property or the loss of a thing, but really pets become so much more. They get into our hearts. They warm us when we are cold. They provide comfort to us when we hurt, and they are loyal to us when no one else is. And know that you had to say goodbye to Krieger. But when Krieger closed its eyes for the last time, it expected to wake up and see you again, because it always did, always would, and that would always make it happy. So though you said goodbye, its goodbye was comforted by the thought of tomorrow's hello. Cheers to you. All right. Here we go. Night of Hope says Tate is kind of a clod. He made himself an easy target. I'm not a fan necessarily. I don't think he should have been canceled, though. Night of Hope, it's not an 1850s owning people like you own a chair thing. You both take responsibility for belonging to each other in a serious way. It's not property. We really don't need to own that term for this. The the reason he should own the term property is because he used it. He used it and he should stand by it. Don't equivocate in the face of censorship. If you meant what you say, mean what you say. That's actually what's really, really annoying about the wall situation is I know what I meant, and a lot of people think I meant something else and want me to own that, but I don't. I own what I meant, and I always will. Just Revere, Night of Hope, go make me a sandwich. Colton, can I punch Piers in the face, please? Only with his consent. Rumble username sucks says Piers is a Brit bong and believes that some cunt has the authority to tell him what he can or can't do or say by the virtue of their fucking inbred bloodline. Of course, he doesn't know what authority means. Night of Hope says, not me. I'm celibate. Stay off my D, bitches. I have stuff to do. There you go. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is Joe doing now? Is it my chat is just alight with Joe is going fucking crazy. Should I check this out? I closed it. Fuck. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Rumble username suck. It says also, I'm not being cute when I say inbred. Rumble literally won't let you send inbred uncensored in a rant. Can't believe that's a censored word. It's only slightly less annoying than Piers. Damn. Hellspawn says legal bite on Joe's channel right now, digging a deeper hole. Can't wait for the Law Nerd clips. The Toast Boy says, I have a hunch Piers' missus straps him to one of my beautiful Australian hardwood crosses and pegs the night away. The Toast Boy. That's a beautiful motherfucker right there. The Toast Boy. Hey, the Toast Boy, can you email me? There's a product that I wanted to buy and it says it didn't ship to the US. I'd like to talk to you about it. Can you, if you're still here, email me. Otherwise, I'll find your email and send it to you too, but it's easier if you do it. Okay. Blue-Eyed Roof Korean says, let's get down to the brass tacks of the only reason anyone even knows who Andrew Tate is. He made a 100% true rant against the elites, globalists, and WEF chumps who ordered him silenced. There you go. Night of Hope, Birch Gold, like sometime tomorrow. Yo, Nick, why is everyone calling our reps fuckos on the phone right now? You know anything about that? Man, I don't know shit. Probably was Ben Shapiro. That's what I'd say. That's what I would say. Cro-Magnus, Nick, is the stupid hurting you? Yes. Only dishonesty is worse than stupidity, possibly. It's physically painful to suffer these fools. In Bill Clinton voice, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, but what I'd like to feel is the back of your throat on the tip of my penis, if you know what I'm saying. I like to have that little uvula tickle right on the top. Blue-Eyed Roof Korean says, on the Brooks stream, you said our courts prevent being judged by the mob. No, they're designed to. I didn't say they did. They're designed to prevent it. I've heard vengeance has no place in society, but isn't there a reason justice carries a sword? Vengeance curbs bad behavior. Yeah, but the reason you don't go with the mob is because the mob doesn't inflict justice. The mob inflicts emotions. Now, sometimes, actually probably often, justice and emotions align. But if there's something wrong, you get injustice when you utilize the mob. That's the problem. All right, here we go. Prep Boy Rick, the great law schism burns bright through the galaxy. In the 21st century, there's only law drama. I can't. I warned everyone. I warned everyone that this was coming. I did a whole stream on it. I warned everyone what was coming. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my fault. Because maybe it's just everywhere I end up is where it all fucking gets destroyed. I don't know. I'm going to take credit, though. I warned them all. And they didn't listen. Anything? Please have Ryan make a clip of your statements about online communities. So great. Would be good for isolated viewing and sharing. Maybe. I mean, I did that whole stream on it on YouTube. You should all check it out if you didn't. SC Medic 71. Tate can't get a sentence out without Morgan talking over him. Correct. Well, you're not answering the question I asked, are you? I'm trying to. You won't let me get there. Mario Carter says, Piers Morgan is very anti-Semitic. There's nothing he hates more than a Semitic argument. Anti-Semitic. Okay. Crusader Saracen, this show would really benefit from Drexel's analysis. Also, I want to hear him roast Piers, who will one day face the judgment of Allah for being retarded and British. Allahu Akbar. Emor says, go to bed, man. We will be just fine. You earn some sleep. Oh, I'm gonna. We don't have much time left. We don't have much time left. For people who are curious, by the way, so I know I say I'm going to go to sleep, but the reality is I'm not good at sleeping before 5 a.m. because I'm so used to it. These trials get really difficult for that reason. But I'm not going to stream on Locals tonight, but there's a live chat on Locals right now. For those of you who are not on Locals, there's a live chat on Locals right now for this stream. That live chat will continue following this stream. I will join it. I got to eat some food, which means I got to cook some food. But I will join the live chat and hang out in there while I eat and eventually fall asleep. So just so you guys know, if you want to continue the conversation after the show is over, we can do that in the live stream chat on Locals. Unfortunately for you, but fortunately for me, you got to subscribe. It's $5 a month. Hit it hard. Hit it as hard as Piers Morgan hits his wife. Slam that Local subscription like Piers Morgan's wife slams his asshole with a strap on. There you go. Rumble username sucks says, Nick, since you're not streaming on YouTube anymore, you don't have to wait 2 hours for unbreaded. You're right, I don't. Can we get an unbreaded cold open sometime for the lulls? Also, this page is topical. That's a good fucking idea. I'm so conditioned to doing it. I'm so conditioned to doing it that I didn't even remember. Holy fuck. That's amazing. Crusader Saracen says, Kermit voice, by Allah, if there is more drama, I will plant a tree, and when it is fully grown, I will hang myself from it. Patriot Raccoon, I work nights with psych clients, and your streams bring me a calmness and a client goes ballistic on staff in another room. Tech Crisis, here's some money because you're funny, and just screw the drama. Who cares? Screw the drama. Man, I want to screw everything. So old, such a coomer. And that's where we're at right now. Techie Shinichi. Wait, am I drinking too much? Fuck me. Uh-oh. That might have happened. Techie Shinichi. Always wanted a Samoyed, saving to get one. It's a giant floof, looks like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Super cute. Mandy Karavich says, Nick, I was waiting for you on YouTube when I got home. I need to get used to Rumble. I'm sorry. Mandy, I'm very sorry. First of all, I can't stream to YouTube still for 10 days or something. But I also, it's not going to happen. Rectum, what the fuck is this? Wait, you swap their heads. Which one is real? P.H. P.H. Keep up your grift, rackets. Avoid the drama that LawTube has degenerated into. Good thing you disavowed it from the start, like the God Emperor of Mankind. Coincidence? When are you moving to the Himalayas? I couldn't live in the Himalayas until we get atmosphere control. Adios, amigos, says Andrew Tate wasn't anywhere on my radar until the whole fiasco. Morgan is ilk did a great job Streisanding. Also, any recommendation for sweet brown sugar bourbon? Nope. I don't like flavored whiskeys. Legal Vices says the Pope receives revelation from God. He is the intercessor between God and man. You should listen to him. Oh, fuck. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Jeff? You going to join me for some Daryl Brooks later in a little bit? I know it'll be like the end of your work day, beginning of mine. Old Drill Sergeant, I'm not going to watch the last 15 minutes of Joe's stream on tonight. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I don't want to, like, maybe I'll watch a clip of it or something. I'm not going to pull it up tonight. Future Hoffer says, did you see the clip from Monday where Brooks tried to get a cop to say on the stand that he wasn't the driver because the driver had long hair and a beard, but he has a shaved head? I did not see that. Maybe we'll watch it during lunch tomorrow. I don't know. I heard about it. Sounds very fucking funny. Very funny fun. Very fucking funny. Okay. Let cooler heads prevail, Nick. I don't think there are cooler heads in this situation. Mine is the coolest. Mine is the coolest. Because I don't fucking give a shit what anybody says. I've said my piece about everything, and everybody can let the cards fall where they will. I'm perfectly resigned to what has been said by me in multiple places, importantly on locals too. Although it's been clipped, I think, by Alyssa or something, which is fine. No problem with them clipping that local stream. Mandy Karavichus says, also Drexel said, I need to represent Lithuania. Could you remind him I'm Texan, please? Only my name is Lithuanian. Well, I think that just goes back to the time when we were introduced where Legal Bites taught me to say your name because it's a Lithuanian name. But you're now stuck as a Lithuanian. Sorry. Over to Odyssey. Holy fuck. God damn it. These Odyssey chats. Malik Foxen says, hey, fuck you, Cynthia, snitch. Sausage Figure says, the only drama I'm interested in is the Rumble versus Odyssey drama. Get wrecked, virgins, Odyssey rules. And it is juicy drama. Holy shit. Malik Foxen says, I hated this part of the argument just because Piers can't divorce authority from tyranny and it's annoying as fuck. And fuck you, Piers, saying no agenda, you fucking lie. Correct. Tiff, you're right. You are wise, and everyone is going to talk and talk and talk. That's true. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is how do I grift off of the grift off of me? Like, I respect the grift. I absolutely respect the grift. Like Joe, I heard Joe made a fortune tonight. 100% respect that. Andrew made a fortune earlier today. 100% respect that. What I'm trying to figure out is how I make a fortune off of their fortune. That's what I need to do. So do I, like, what do I need to do for that? Do I need to, like, I don't know. That's my brainstorm right now, is how do I grift off of that? You do a tell-all pay-per-view. Oh, that's a good idea. A locals exclusive. A locals exclusive tell-all. Okay, here we go. Chanks, I'll tell him this is what you get for fucking up your live URL and trading in a permanent one for a custom each show. No, Chank, I didn't want it. This is Odyssey's fault. Odyssey reached out and said, by the way, since your YouTube channel is deleted, Odyssey won't auto syndicate or synchronize or whatever your live stream uploads to Odyssey anymore. I now have to manually go in I have to manually go in and make them into a video on demand on Odyssey. And once you do that, it destroys the original link. I didn't want this. I liked the permanent link. I really liked the permanent link, but if I don't have those live streams posting to YouTube, Odyssey won't grab them and synchronize them anymore, which I think is gay. Music and Fiction says, everybody's talking at me. I don't hear a word they're saying. I just want to grift them every day. Nick's new favorite song. The Toast Boy says, I'll email you tonight. Thanks for the Ilium book recommendation. By the way, it's great so far. Dude, Ilium and Odyssey is the best 2-book combo on the fucking planet. So good. God, I'm going to read it again soon. Johnny Reb, 84. Wait. Hop in and just squish this ish. Tell her she's gay and to piss off. I'm not invited onto Joe's stream. So I can't do that. And that's fine by me, by the way. I don't care. Johnny Reb, Nick, keep it short tonight. If you have to do the lower chats later, do so. You don't need to burn the candle at both ends again. Chanks, I tell him drama is a cunt. Fuck drama. Ooh, fuck it right in the cunt. God damn it, I'm really drunk. I'm not even really drunk, but I'm drunk enough. But not drunk enough. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to pour another one. All right. Now that I've drank more, man, do I love fucking. There we go. Okay, here we go. Fractured 01 has a piss on YouTube emoji. Retro Gamer 19 says, yes, get wrecked, Joe. Craig says, Rumble banned my account. No explanation. Won't respond to my emails. Velis, did you hear about super mines on mines.com? Apparently it's like a super chat, except you only get paid after you reply to it. Oh, that's fucking cool. I'm supposed to talk to Mines since I don't have a Twitter anymore. And I like Mines. I always have. Just kind of like, do I want to start another social media thing? And I love Mines and I love the grift. But I'm already like, there's so many places. Well, of course, YouTube memberships are going. I don't know. There's so many places. I feel like this is becoming an artifact of the social media presence is, well, you can support me here and here and here and here and here and here. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, and some people do, but God damn. That's a lot of fucking places to just ask people to send money. You know? Someone asked if I like tits. Oh, you fucking assholes. You fucking assholes. It's not your fault. Lady Rackets has been on YouTube more than normal. And she watched a clip yesterday. A clip that I did a long time ago. 11 months ago. I didn't realize it was 11 months ago. Where I'm sitting here simping over Lady Raggets. I'm like, Lady Raggets, so fucking cool. Right? And I'm just pouring my heart out for Lady Rackets. And I go upstairs and she's like crying. She's like crying over it. And I'm like, God damn it. Anyway. Tug is being a true bro in chat. Tug has always been a true bro. I've drank with the man. Mike's Vaboda says she lost respect, didn't she? No, she was absolutely floored. She's absolutely floored. That's great. Did she laugh at you? No, she. I don't know. Hallucinosis says porn question. Lily Raider of Slim Thick Vic. Or do you mean or Slim Thick Vic? Lily Raider. I feel like I've seen the name. I couldn't picture her. I don't know. Tiff Hang, me too. Me too. All right. Chang's tell him wives are their husband's property, quoting Piers Morgan. He fucking said it. We all saw it. Piers Morgan thinks women are property. Chang's tell him, is Piers implying he would walk up to a random 25-year-old strangers and repeat any random statement he has ever made in his life? I would love to see that with some of the things that have come out of his undercooked ham's flappy face vagina hole. Yeah, it's crazy. You say things generally and they're like, oh, well, would you say that into their face? First of all, fuck yes. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? To a 25-year-old? Bring me a 25-year-old and tell me what to say. Azurian says, hey, Nick, Vic's appeal reconsideration denied. A&N's bragging. Yeah, it was denied. Reconsiderations are almost never approved. You make them. I said that when it was done, I guess, when it was filed, that reconsiderations, you expect it to lose. Bragging about a denial of a motion for reconsideration is like, that's like bragging over Dairy Queen giving you ice cream when you order it. Like most of the time it's going to happen. I mean, sometimes it doesn't. What the fuck? What am I doing next? Okay, anyway, here we go. Oh, Jesus. Malik Foxon says the internet says smells blood in the water. Nick, they want blood sports, so they start making up shit. You know the game, buddy. I do. I said that's what I said in the in that video I did. In the video that I did, that was the whole thing about it was it will devolve, it will collapse in on itself. You're right. Blood sports is eternal. Says Price, first and second wave started in World War I, World War II, equal voting rights. Third wave occurred during the Civil Rights era, Vietnam War, and women want sexual freedom. Fourth wave occurred during Gulf War with the crack epidemic, women wanting representation in the workforce as CEOs, strong independent women face. Notice a pattern. Fractured 01 sent a bunny, a rabbit hole. Retro Gamer 19, what's your thoughts about Nate's opinion on the whole Legal Bites and Hogue drama? I haven't seen Nate's opinion. Look, guys, I gotta tell you this. This is so fucking important. When I got kicked off of YouTube, most of the people that I know immediately, either publicly or privately, went right to fucking bat. No questions asked. They knew exactly. They know me. They know exactly what happened. They said, this is bullshit. We can sort the rest out later. Get Nick back on YouTube. Nate is one of the first people to jump in there, to stand in the fucking gap and say, hey, this is wrong. Nate is my homie and my bro from Jump. And I've only heard a little bit of what he said. He was on with Legal Mindset earlier. And what he said was, he said, Nick brought me on. to his show. He didn't have to. And I will forever be grateful to Nick. And I will forever be grateful to Nate. Nate is a great friend. And I want to be that very fucking clear on this. No one had to do anything. I never asked anybody to do anything like what happened. I wish I would have in hindsight, because Jesus Christ, it was effective. Nate was a bro. Nate can have any opinion he wants about the legal bites, drama, or whatever. Nate will always be my guy. Nate and I are great. Nate and I are good. In fact, pretty much fucking everybody and I are good as far as I'm concerned. And Bites and Hogue, that includes you. I'm good. I always have been. Truth is truth. There's two parts of this fucking fiasco. There's the goddamn truth about what happened, and then there's what we do with that truth. I don't hold malice or grudges. I really don't. I know people might have trouble with this. I don't hold malice or grudges. But I know when people hold malice or grudges against me because either it's communicated to me or because it's communicated to someone else and I hear about it. My solution, as literally fucking has always been, is, hey, if someone's got a problem with me, I'm not going to reach out to interact with that person. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. So I don't. Very fucking simple. Very fucking simple. I don't have a hatchet to bury with anybody except maybe Ethan Ralph, but I'm not going to bury that hatchet unless it's in his giant fucking gun, which won't hurt him anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I don't have a hatchet to bury. I don't hold a grudge. I'm perpetually perplexed by why people have grudges with me, because I'm the nicest motherfucker on the goddamn planet. And I am ride or die with you as a fucking acquaintance. As a fucking acquaintance, I will defend your ability to speak. I'll defend your ability to make money. I will fucking fight for your ability to do those things as an acquaintance. Much less a friend. But I will always speak truth. I will always be me, and you will always know exactly what I think about a situation. And just because I think a situation is some fucked up bullshit doesn't mean I think you're bad. Ask Kurt, by the way, a bro who I have brought on this show despite many people being really mad at him. But you saw why I brought Kurt on the show the other day. You saw why. Kurt was immediately, whatever happened to Nick, I've got to assume is bullshit until I'm presented some really fucking good evidence otherwise. Kurt has done things that I vehemently disagree with, and the chat has ripped me up for bringing him on for that. And I said at the time, I disagree with some of the things he's done. I get his reasons for it. I understand them. At a personal level, I get it. But I think he shouldn't have done them. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to rip apart my friend. But guess what? I didn't rip apart anybody else on this either. In fact, I bent the fuck over backwards to specifically not rip anyone apart on this gay drama that started in the middle of fucking Johnny Depp. And everybody knows I'm talking about the DUI guy situation. Let's just be open about it right now. You go back and watch that live stream that I did about the DUI guy drama and the danger to online community, and you find in one spot where I badmouthed a person for their motives, for their actions, or whatever. I said, these are mistakes. These are mistakes that I have been through or seen. And I'm telling people as instruction, as wisdom, as experience, don't do this. Please don't do this. There's never motive ascribed. There's never malice ascribed. There's never anything to the people involved in that situation or in any situation. I don't go after people until they fucking come after me directly. Ever. And you can go back and you can look at any number of live streams, and I dare you to find the live stream where I went after anybody first. Except Keffels, I guess. But they went after kids first, and fuck them. But legitimately, like, as far as like another content creator, someone I know, you find the place where I stepped out on them. It doesn't happen. Because I don't care if you have a negative opinion or perception of me. Like you think I did something wrong or whatever. Speak the truth. You come at me, I'll respond. But I'll always respond with fucking facts and truth. And at the end of the day, we're good. But I'm not going to go to you and impose upon you to make me better. No, I don't care. Like, if you have a problem with me, cool. I'll just back off. I don't need you. I don't need anybody else to do me. I'm a massive fucking pile of shit, and I will always be that on my own. I don't need you to do that. But I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody. Because we're all in this fucking shit together, and we're here against the censors. And I can't get why people don't understand this. I can't get why people cannot see the fucking target is not each other. But I cannot divorce that those two things exist. First thing is true. I'm on your side. I'm ride or die with everybody I know. I don't care how fucking weird you are or whatever. I'm ride or die. You divorce me, not the other way around. And that has hurt me in the past. It has hurt me bad. Like, you need to stop associating with this person. They're a piece of garbage. And I'm like, hey, I don't do that. You need to stop. This person's a piece of shit. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not throwing someone under the bus just because you want me to. Well, I'm going to unsub. Okay, unsub. But I'm consistent on this. Because I know where the fucking censorship is. But two, I will always speak the truth about the situation. Those two things sometimes feel like they're in conflict, but they're not. You speak truth to friends when they're doing the wrong thing. And I'm not gonna sit back and be maligned for it. And I'm sorry that anybody misunderstands that. But go back and listen to what I said, because all I did was give you a fuckload of wisdom that you didn't have, and it was goddamn obvious that you didn't have it. The only reason I have it is because I've been through it before. Trying to save you from yourself. If you want to be mad at me over saving you from yourself, be mad at me all day. I'll fall on that sword. But don't ask me to come fix your perception of me. I don't need anybody to do that. Your perception of me is irrelevant. It always was and always has been. The only thing I want to hear from anybody about me is how super handsome I am. How super handsome I am, and that's it. If you have a negative opinion of me, have it. I don't want to hear it. I will. I'll listen. I don't want to, though. I only want to hear how handsome and cool I am. because that's the fucking reality of life. That's what we all want. We want to know, we want to be validated in who we are and who we perceive ourselves to be. Unfortunately for everybody, I'm a massive fucking narcissist. So the only thing I want to hear is validation, but I'll hear everything else because while I'm a narcissist, I'm also a pragmatist. And I really wish everyone on the internet would learn to fucking adopt that stance. Because if you can't adopt that stance, you shouldn't be online. But I think there may have been some people. Dancing on the corpse of my YouTube live stream because they thought, ooh, there's an audience there that I can scoop up. Because I know that some people think that way. And it's a damn fucking shame that you think that I'm going to leave people behind just because I'm not on YouTube. I'm going to grift every motherfucker on the planet over to Rumble and Odyssey. And then I'm coming for your audiences too. You know why? Because that is the game. My nose is very handsome. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You have tickled me in my penis through my nose. Thank you. Retro Gamer 19 had asked what my thoughts on Nate's opinion. Look, Nate will forever be my homie. And there's nothing he can do. Very little he can do to change that. I guess it's theoretically possible. It's really unlikely because I know Nate's character and he's a good guy. Anyone can have a differing opinion on the Legal Bite stuff, and that's fine. I don't care. Have your opinion. I've said my piece. Other people's opinions and statements are being ascribed to me, and that's fine. They're not true. So Limestone sent me a period. Rude. 7 days. Raven Z says, how is your fly, Nick? He's dead. I don't know how he died, but he's dead. Foo you. Nick has an erection. Most of the time. Foo you says, Rekieta Law, not true. You can still save your streams on Odyssey and keep the same URL. You just lose the chat history. No, when I saved the stream, it fucking killed the URL. I don't know. I'll look into it. I'm probably wrong. I'll email the Odyssey guys. By the way, I gotta say this. When I got banned from YouTube, the CEO of Odyssey reached out, and I owe him a response. He reached out and said, hey, we want to help you. We want to help you. It was really fucking nice. It was really fucking cool of him to do that. Julian, big shout out. I've not responded only because I was in a massive fucking tizzy over what to do and how to strategize everything. But Julian from Odyssey was awesome during that time. So thank you. Malik Foxon says, thinking about it, never seen a point where Nick and Nate weren't good. Seen a million times where the chat was like, hey, you and Nate good? Because of some discussion on Twitter. Nate and I are always good. Like, again, guys, you can I don't have a purity test. I really don't. I really don't have a purity test. And like, you don't have to agree with me on anything, much less everything. Okay, Sleepless in Minnesota. Your friend Joe is killing it over on his channel right now. He has legal bites sounding like a Biden press secretary. Word salad. Good for Joe. I'm very glad for him. Aloe Patones over on Locals says, message honest. Everybody loves black rubs or back rubs at Tug and Rekieta Law. Thank you. Cassadar sent me a period. Rude. And then he sent a test tip also. Let's see. Bear Lamb says, did you see the photo of Chrissy Mayer sucking and licking butter on a couch with her friend? I'm not making this up. I have photos. Nope, but I'll see it. Chrissy's great. By the way, I'm a big fan of Chrissy. She's awesome. C3 Metal says no one expects the unbreaded Inquisition. SC Medic says always got your back. You go, we go. Facts. Mandy Kravitch says this has been a crappy October. Not only the YouTube drama, but one of my best friends got fired on Monday for calling the dumb supervisor a motherfucker to his face at work. Supervisor wrote up 8 people today. Sounds like a motherfucker. Bad Weather Biker sent a chat. It says, the real question, Mr. Tate, did you smash Michaela Peterson? Who the fuck is Michaela Peterson? By the way, Fuyu, thank you for sending me that email. I'll look at it when I'm sober. I really appreciate the info. Music and Fiction says, grounds. Cassie Mayron says, Pope Rackets, I have sinned and must confess. I got so aggravated watching Joe's stream. I did the unthinkable and gave money to YouTube Super Chat. Hashtag mass unsub isn't canceling. Massive unsubbing isn't canceling if people are doing it for their own purposes. Oh, Michaela Peterson is Jordan Peterson's daughter. There you go. I guess. Is she of age? I don't even remember. Cassie Maynard, you'll just have to pay penance by buying one more month of locals. That's what you got to do. Crusader says trying to learn locals chat and the tip. Cassadar, not Crusader. Cassadar, you got it. Savvy Sue says, damn, I'm out of coins. Sorry. If you're buying locals coins, buy them on your browser. Don't buy them on the app, please. Johnny Kane 198. Rekieta, I signed up for locals because I'm not going to super chat into drama of Real Housewives of LawTube. Good. Aurora Uplinks. Understandable, Rekieta Law. If you do feel like it, I was figuring both parties get a table with glued down printed papers that provide checker marks and numbers like a chessboard. Put your own pieces down. Do this on their table too. Maybe some shared scenery, and you have a bunch of printed names glued to the poker chips, those black coins. We would probably just do the tabletop simulator on Steam is how I would do it. But I just don't have the 3 hours to play a game of Warhammer. I like Kill Team. Kill Team is fun. It doesn't take as long. Johnny K 198. Rekieta Law. Robert Javera stays away from that BS drama, but he's definitely shown the love. Barnes said he'd only have Javera, Viva, or you rep him. Robert Javea is awesome. He was super, he was gung-ho on it. I love that guy. I need to talk to him. It's been a minute, but he's awesome. Barnes has been a bro through all of this, of course. I know Barnes gave me a big shout out to Alex Jones, which is instrumental in how I got on the show. I'm sure that's how that worked. G Soap, blessed be thine divine words, Pope Nasus Rackets. Thy holy teachings of the Negronomicon filleth my heart with blood cancer. USA Now says, did you know people do not have to be subscribed to your community to chat in locals live stream till it ends, but you have to pay $1? Yes, you can pay. You can do a one-time payment to get into a chat. That's true. Aurora Uplinks, you basically play it like Battleship. 1 coin represents a whole squad to save time and everyone stays honest about numbers in the squad as they get killed off. And Wake Dipper says, testing. Okay. Ellie Fant says, Montegraph, the child diddler. Montegraph is a weirdo. All right, guys. I'll be continuing on the the locals live chat if you're in there. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning at some point for Daryl Brooks, which I'm deeply regretting streaming at this moment. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Guys, you don't have to hold any grudges on anyone on my behalf. You do what you want to do. Consume the content you want to consume. I'm not asking anybody to fucking do anything. Never have, never will. As far as other creators, that's not my thing. Except for the real Lady Rackets on YouTube. Subscribe to her and enjoy her videos. Thanks a bunch. I'll catch you soon. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Oh,
he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitter and Erlang. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an odd bag of Balmore at Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost planning tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the